The Trojans this year come in with a record of 4-7. And on the mic with you tonight is Paul Gray, and alongside me is Tony Menendez. And Tony, we've got a really interesting night tonight. It's not just about football, but the football will be an exciting. But what else we got going on here tonight, Tony?
Well, we got interesting weather conditions for this game. I always hate when a game of this caliber could be like decided by the weather, but I really think tonight it could be a big hiccup for the passing game. Anytime we get the ball going airborne at all, I mean, even for kicks, you think about punts and kickoffs, we got almost 11 to 12 mile per hour wind going. It could be up even higher. It's supposed to continue coming back with more rain. It rained earlier. We're supposed to get rain again. So this could be a really sloppy game. Both teams like to run the ball. North tends to like to pass a little bit more, especially in that screen game. So it's going to be a big effect on what's going to happen in this game.
So current temperature 45 degrees. During the game at some point it could get down to 40, maybe even 39 degrees out there. I'm sure with the wind chill factor is a little lower. So we've got a cool night, but when it's wet and cold, it feels even colder. Honestly, I've played in games that were 28 degrees with snow coming down, and you're not that wet, and so it doesn't feel that cold. But when the wind is going and it's wet and it's 38, 39, 40, 41, man, that is about as cold as it gets. The only thing that would be worse is about 15 or 16 degrees out there. And so this is so it's cold. As Tony said, we may have wind gusts up to 20 miles an hour, and I agree with Tony. I've always hated it when you've got a big game and the weather may determine it, not the people on the field. Actually, just for a little story, we've got a nice little pregame for you here tonight, and we've got plenty of time to talk about these two teams and what's going on. But a little story, I coached in a football game many moons ago in the early 90s, and the wind was about 30, 35 miles an hour, and the game was determined by the wind. I was coaching at Boone County High School. In fact, NFL MVP Sean Alexander was our running back at the time. This was his junior season. We were playing against Lexington Bryan Station, who's really good this year, but at the time they had the state 4x100 record holders and several players, Littleton Ward among them, who played at UK, and they were phenomenal. But we ended up winning the game 22-21 for two specific plays I can remember. Once, with the wind behind us, our kicker kicked the ball 85 yards, and we downed it on about their 2-yard line. So flipped the field on an 85-yard punt with the wind, and then they, from their own goal line, tried to throw the ball deep out of their own end zone into that wind, easily intercepted, and set us up for one of our touchdowns to win the ball game. So you've really got to take that into consideration, the wind as much as the cold and rain. Tony, look out at the field between the hash marks. What are you seeing?
I mean, it's rough. There's some patches already coming up from. I mean, and that also goes to the wear and tear of a whole season and playing the playoff games. But when you have.
But they really haven't had a rain game here.
Mm-mm.
So just from pregame,
I would say probably their last North game was a little bit rainy, but nothing like this.
No. There was a light drizzle from time to time, and it wasn't cold. But tonight, just from pregame alone, you're seeing a lot of patchiness in the middle of the field. It rained starting at about 2 o'clock this afternoon, and it never rained super hard, but it certainly was steady throughout the day and into the evening. We expect it to rain some more here in a little bit. It's not raining currently, but ball handling, the kicking game, Tony.
Yeah, the kicking game is big, but I mean, even in the pregame stretches and workouts, the players doing their warm-ups, you could see some of the passes where just the wind caught a hold of it and shifted it a little bit, a few yards inside, a few yards outside. In a game where I think it's going to be close, when you have crosstown rivals playing against each other, being a little chippy. They both do like to run the ball, and so I think sometimes you need a pass or two here or there, like to decide the win on those long yardage plays, and if you can't get that pass, and
it could cause an interception or two or some opportunities for those turnovers.
Yep, and it becomes really a game about field possession and, how do you play it best?
So let me talk for a minute here about some of the year-long statistics. Both teams have played 11 ball games as we're in week 2 of the playoffs here. And It's been a really great season for Central Hardin, and they actually, Tony, are the leading rushing team in the state of Kentucky. 3,079 yards in 11 games is a phenomenal number. 772 yards in the passing game. So obviously they're a running football team, and you'd think maybe these conditions would play to their strengths, maybe a little more than North Hardin. Central Hardin's runners, they don't have a 1,000-yard rusher, even though they've rushed for over 3,000 yards. Mason Thompson, their leading rusher, with 811 yards. Zach Spurrier, the quarterback, the big, strong fullback quarterback. He's Tim Tebow-ish.
Yeah.
735 yards. Terry Brooks, 698 yards. So we fully expect he'll go over 700 tonight here with just 2 yards left. And then Caden Ferguson, their fourth leading rusher, with 477 yards. So they're very balanced. A lot of different guys doing damage, and it's a tribute to the guys up front and what they can do there. In the passing game, 6 touchdowns and 3 interceptions for Spurrier. One of our concerns coming into the season was, could Zach, a young quarterback, a sophomore, take care of the ball? So only 3 interceptions on the season is a pretty good number. Carter Robinson, number 12, is the leading receiver with 13 catches for 268 yards. Adam Hobbs, the tight end, 13 catches also for 203 yards. So what stands out to you of all those numbers?
One of the biggest things that stands out to me is coming over the adversity they faced right there at the beginning of the season. I mean, they ran it by committee, but really they were going to lean heavily on their main senior for the year with Trey getting hurt early in the season. And, you were looking for him to have some big yardage, and they were able to lean on some of these other guys and get some good mileage out of them and get, running back by committee and, who's going to step up and do big plays during the game. I think it's a testament of, like, the coaching staff and the kids themselves being able to take that adversity and turn it around and, like, still get that yardage even without their main runner. And
you've really got to give it to those guys up front. Obviously, that's where it starts. Andrew Hobbs, Clayton Hockman, Brandon Barnes, Seth Serra. Earlier in the season, guys like A.J. Orton, Brock Burton. So that crew up front has really done a great job, and we'll note their progress tonight. On the other side, again, more of a balanced attack. Manny Wimberly, the senior quarterback, who's had a great career at North Hardin, 1,586 yards passing, 14 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. On the rushing side, it's been all Kai Boyd. They do have a 1,000-yard rusher with Kai Boyd. He's right at 1,000 yards for the season. Number 22 had a pretty good ball game against this Central Hardin club last time out, over 100 yards. I believe it was like 140, 150 yards in that first matchup. He's just so low to the ground, big, powerful legs, just keep churning, and he'll put up a lot of yards receiving. Their leading receiver, Quayshawn Davis, is their big play threat. He took a screen pass about 40 yards for a touchdown in the first matchup, so he's a big play guy. Sean Boykins with 26 receptions for 355 yards, their second leading receiver. Number 2, Sean Rose, 10, Skylar Coffey, 11, Devin Seeley. All those guys will play a factor in the passing game, whether it's the screen game, the deep ball, whatever it is. So those guys will be effective. What stands out to you about this North Hardin club?
They're a very good balanced team. I think the biggest issue going to be for them tonight is not being able to maybe pass the ball downfield. Their screen game has been like kind of the cornerstone of what they've been doing all season. They did a really good job the last time they played Central, even though they left with a loss, of being able to read what the defense gave them and make good cutbacks when things weren't looking like they're going to get open. Trey Alexander, their offensive lineman, number 65, he is just outstanding. He gets a good push, and it seemed to me in that game there was a lot of times that, if he was pulling, they were going where he's pulling. If they're going to run his gap, they're running his gap. He did a good job, and even when he was getting that good hold up and he wasn't even pulling, even he was creating lanes for that cutback where maybe the read was the opposite of him, but because he did such a good job holding up his side of the line, that they were able to cut back into where he was running in and get some yardage out.
So as Tony's pointing out, what you're going to see then, or maybe one of the things to look for as you're watching the ball game, big number 65, he had been a tackle, because usually your best offensive lineman is going to play tackle, but he's been playing right guard. And what Tony's saying is that you're going to see the ball where he is. In other words, the point of attack, you're going to see number 65. So if he's the right guard. If they're running more of a zone scheme, man-on-man, or a zone scheme blocking straight ahead, expect them to be running to the right where he is. If they're running to the left, expect him to be pulling and to be in front of the ball carrier or kicking out in front of the ball carrier. So big number 65 is a big key. What about keys to victory for the North Hardin Trojans tonight, Tony?
Well, I think one of the things they do have, their special teams performed exceptionally well in the last game.
Yeah.
Being able to put being able to put the Bruins in like some hard positions in the kickoff game and also in the punt game and just playing well. I think another thing is, and this is just for both teams, staying out of those knick-knack kind of penalties and playing smart. Emotions are high. You're a senior. This could be your last game. And trying to control yourself and, play the game and don't get yourself in a bad position because of what's going on the field. I think if they could control the point of attack with the run, they could take this game over the Bruins.
So, I totally agree. I think Achilles' heel for this North Hardin squad has been penalties. Shooting themselves in the foot, not allowing themselves to continue with drives. That's a big deal. Obviously, the big play for North Hardin is important. They've got to hit a couple big plays somehow. A big run from Kai Boyd, a big screen pass that goes the distance. Those are very important for that squad. What about the Bruins? What are some keys to victory for them?
I think the Bruins just need – I would hope by now they know their identity. And their identity is to grind it out, run that ball in the middle of the field, get those outside runs when they load up the box and they can squirt it out there. But really – them running the rock and just pounding down the middle of the field is what they do the best. And their defensive line, if it's playing strong up front and can get some push, then the other teams are in trouble.
Well, big 41, Adam Hobbs has had an amazing season, especially late in the season. 17 tackles for loss, 10 sacks. He's been a beast, so they'll have a hard time handling him. We are about ready for kickoff. And number 19, Jackson Engstrand, will be kicking off for the Bruins. And back deep, Micah Parms and Quayshawn Davis. They're standing at about the 14-yard line. And so we are about ready to get underway. Now, the Bruins are kicking kind of into the wind. The wind is across the field, but kicking kind of into the wind more than with it. He's just going to kick a little squibber, picked up by 7. I believe it's Jawan Williams, and tackled immediately, going nowhere. He'll have it at about the 36 is probably where they'll spot that. Maybe the 37, Tony, where the Trojans will take over. 1st and 10. We're underway.
So you think they squibbed it on purpose because of the wind? Worried that it would catch hold?
Going to keep it out of the wind, but also you don't want Quayshawn Davis with the ball in his hands in the open field. So they're going to try to keep it away from Quayshawn Davis. We've got 2 wide receivers to each side. That is going to dictate. The formation is going to dictate the coverage. And you ought to see quarters coverage, a cover 4, with 4 guys dropping deep and 4 underneath linebackers playing. There's only 5 in the box, which is a problem against this run. Wimberly's going to throw on 1st down. He's got it quickly on the slant to Quayshawn. It's on the ground already. Ooh, boy, the Trojans jump on it at the 50. So a big 12-yard completion to start the game. But, boy, that was near disaster for the Trojans.
And this is the time you want to attack with the pass because they don't have the wind against them right now.
Yeah, they're with the wind and not raining right now. It's a little wet, and the ball already squirted out one time. Going to give to Boyd off the left side. He's got big room. He's out in front. Down to the 24-yard line. Kai Boyd tackle there, it looked like, by Nolan Goodman, number 20.
And that was a nice run by him. 2 really good positive yards. And it looks like North's going in like almost a hurry-up offense right now. They're going off the wristbands. They are not slowing down. They want to really push it hard here on the Bruins.
Empty backfield here. Empty backfield. They've got the Bruins confused in their coverage. Quick hitch thrown to number 10, Skylar Coffey. That is going to be about a 6-yard gain for Coffey. So after a 26-yard run by Boyd, a second completion now on the drive.
And they're keeping that hurry-up look going, Coach. They got a pistol.
So we got to be ready here. Pistol look with Boyd behind. He's got leading.
Right there, right behind 65.
Actually, that was 55 that time.
Was it 55?
Right. Left guard, they did not pull that time. And left guard, number 55, Damani Taylor. So About a 7-yard gain there. First down for the Trojans, quickly into Bruin red zone. Boyd again up the middle. He's got space inside the 10-yard line. A big 6-yard gain.
And they're getting a really good push up there up front between the center and the guards.
They really are, Tony, and it's going to be 2nd down and 4 here. They're at about the 7-yard line, and the Bruins are now in a man cover look all over the field. Going to give to Boyd again. He's got a lot of space, but stuffed quickly there. I couldn't see who was in on that play. Looks like they got to the 5-yard line, but probably a yard short.
Yep, you're about right, Coach. A yard short on that.
So a 3-yard gain.
And this is a big down for the Bruins. They're giving up chunks of yard. They need to stop them right
Under
here.
center, it will be Wimberly with the quarterback sneak. I would bet anything here. The big 250-pound quarterback is going to just
Well,
push.
he's got that push.
He may get to the end zone the way
He
they're
got
pushing.
extra.
Really close. What's the call? I don't see
Hey,
hands up.
touchdown.
Did they touchdown Trojans? I couldn't see the official on the far side. What a drive! That was about a 5-yard quarterback sneak as the big 250-pound quarterback just got behind the line, and Damani Taylor and Trey Alexander just pushing the pile.
And we didn't get to talk about this before the game, but we had talked about pregame before we were on live about new wrinkles getting put in to deal with each other in this game, and it looks like this hurry-up offense maybe a wrinkle North is going to go with to try to not let the Bruins get set in what they want to do defensively.
So the extra point is good. Caden Logsdon will knock it through. Skylar Coffey did a great job fielding that snap. Again, wet ball, and it was not a great snap, and he was able to scoop it and get it on the tee. And we have early here with 9:52 to go in the first quarter, 7-0 Trojans. So the Trojans come right out, and it looks like they're fired up and ready to go. I don't know about this Bruins squad. They look a little bit flat. They better get themselves going here. Not a lot of excitement or energy over here. They're going to have to get themselves going. And again, the wind favors the Trojans here in the first quarter. So the Bruins are going to have to weather this storm.
Yep, they're going to have to really push it hard on this drive. I think they're going to try to slow this pace back down because I can see them with the success of that one drive of hurry up. I don't know why you just want to go right back to it.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure you'll continue to see pace from that Trojan offense. And on the other side, you know, this Bruin offense has got to possess the ball. They've got to keep it away from the Trojans, limit their possessions, and they've got to make first downs. They've got to handle the football well and make first downs and drive it all the way down the field. And again, in that first game, their offensive line was dominant. They really got the push they needed. One of the things that would concern me if I were the Bruins is how well North Hardin ran the football there. They're only playing a 5-man box against that spread offense, and to me, a 5-man box means run every time. So with the wind behind, that's Jabari Rashid, number 15, knocking it into the end zone. And so the Bruins will start at the 25-yard line, or the 20-yard line. I'm thinking NFL.
Yeah.
They're starting at the 20.
And we'll see what they do, see what wrinkles the Bruins have in place for this game.
So again, they are in kind of a tight look to the right with a tight slot. They're going to go that direction with the football. It looks like Mason Thompson, their leading rusher, with the football, pushing the pile, driving ahead. 7-yard gain for Mason Thompson. Again, they've added that tight slot look last week against Barron County with Adam Hobbs at the tight end spot. And I'm not sure who was in the tight slot. It might have been Easton Link, who's a very physical player, but one of their, I think their leading tackler on defense. So 7-yard gain there for Mason Thompson, and bring up a 2nd down and 3 from the 27-yard line. 2 receivers to the right. They're going to run the reverse. Not a good plan, man. They just lost that 7 yards, and Terry Brooks goes backward. Number 23, Mason Howard, all over that play, Tony.
Yeah, I was surprised they called a reverse. They did such a good run to play before, just doing that bare bones, just running that type formation. I think they just come back to that next down, 2nd and short.
Yeah. So -5 on the play, 3rd down and 8. Again, wet field against a team that's faster than you, going side to side, is a very risky proposition. You're probably going to lose most of those situations. You got to look to throw it here. They get it in the flat quickly.
They
It's
got
Mason
good-
Thompson with a big play for
really,
Thompson.
really good.
Down the sideline, the back out of the backfield for a first down. That was from the 22-yard line to about the 45. 23-yard gain on the pass from Spurrier.
And that was a really nice, clean-looking pass there by the quarterback there on that play. You know, he's just open there in the flats, and he had plenty of room. He had a good block downfield as well to open it up some of that running there after the catch.
The key is short passes there, and the more ways you can make it look different and still throw it short and have guys open, it's going to make this offense so much more effective. Overbalanced formation to the right, loaded backfield. They're going to toss it to Brooks. He's got some room. He's up to the 50, a 5-yard gain on the quick toss. So the 5 he lost, he's gotten back on that carry. So that'll bring up a 2nd down and 5. The nose of the football is sitting at the 50-yard line now for the Bruins. Again, the tight slot to the right. Mason Thompson in the pistol look behind Zach Spurrier. They're going to give to Thompson to the right side. He's going to have to blast ahead. Doesn't quite get there, Tony.
Pretty close.
Maybe 2 yards short, maybe a 3-yard gain for Thompson.
He's getting a decent spot there.
He is getting a good spot. He's saying he got a little further ahead. But it will be 3rd down and 2 now after the 3-yard gain by Thompson. So over the 50-yard line now. And 7:31 and counting here. 7-0 Trojans. Trojans are in... looks like their basic 4-man front look, but they've got all the backers up tight against this heavy run attack, and there's nothing there for Mason Thompson that time. Too many white shirts loading up. Skylar Coffey, number 10, that's number 40 there, making the play for the Trojans. That's Damian Hensley, and Hensley was the first guy there, and they lost a yard on the play. 4th down and 3 now, and the punting unit will come out Spurrier to punt.
Again, we say you want to play with field position here. Don't want to give up. After that quick strike downfield, you want to give the Trojans this good field position. So get them back.
Into the wind, punt. Let's see what happens. Good punt.
Oh, good jump right there.
Good punt is going to get it down inside the 15. It looks like it's at about the 12 or 13-yard line. So Spurrier comes through, punting into the wind.
Yeah, I think it's number 28 on that. Was able to do a little pirouette over top of the ball, so get an extra skip. They're coming out with that trips offense, coach.
Trips look, and you'll see it's man-to-man to the weak side of that. But they're going to give the Boyd. He's had so much success already. This time, not quite as much room. Andrew Hobbs looked like number 63, the first one there.
Maybe a yard, if that.
Maybe a yard on the play. Maybe 2. So 2nd down and 8 after a 2-yard gain there. He initially broke the line, but Andrew Hobbs was there to make the play.
The Bruins got to that backfield, but they just missed that tackle as he slid out.
Yeah.
So
Yes, 2 wide receivers, screen coming. And couldn't handle it. That's what we talked about, Tony, is the ability to throw the screen pass with the wind and how wet it is. Boykins couldn't come up with it.
And it looked like the Bruins were ready for that screen because they kind of sat there reading it.
2 receivers to each side. When they do that, the Bruins will be in a purely zone look, like a 4 deep, 4 underneath look. May bring some heat every now and again. This is definitely a passing situation. And Wimberly just put his knee down.
Yep, he slipped.
He slipped and fell. So we're seeing a wet field already there in the middle of the field. The snap is low. He had to lunge for it a little bit. He couldn't keep his feet and put his knee down. So about a 4-yard loss for Wimberly, and
it's
being up 4th and 12. Yeah, they're going to have to punt.
Big defensive stands by the Bruins after that first drive. So not let that happen again.
So it's Caden Logston back to punt. I think it's Terry Brooks back to receive the punt. He's standing at about the 45. Not a great punt with the wind behind. Brooks calling for the fair catch, but gets away from it. It was kind of moving in the wind. That's one of those situations where it kind of knuckleball kick with the wind. He just couldn't gauge it. Honestly,
that was a good play by him to just
step
up and get away from the ball.
Honestly, you may be better off tonight not fielding a punt.
No.
It's likely to move and swirl on you, hit your pads, and bounce off and be a turnover. So we'll keep an eye on that and see. But the Bruins, as you mentioned, winning the field position battle right here. They've got the ball now at the 38 of the Trojans. Again, the Trojans with a base four-man look, but everybody up. The corners are tight. They're going to sprint out to throw the football here, looking for Hobbs. It's a little high. Great catch by Adam Hobbs. One hand. Tips it to himself, and a big completion for the Bruins. Spurrier did a good job lofting that over the linebackers, that first linebacker between him and Hobbs. So
Hobbs has got hops.
Hobbs has hops. That was a really nice play. 7-yard gain, Spurrier to Hobbs. So 2 for 2 for Spurrier right now, and getting the ball to guys that can handle it and move with it. So,
well, it seems like the Trojans know the Bruins run the ball, and they're just bringing everything to stop the run this game.
Brooks on the jet sweep. He's going to get a yard, maybe 2. He's just over the 30, but short of the first down. We'll give him a yard on the carry. He's got 1 yard on 3 carries right now, -5, a 5, and a 1. So it's been Mason Thompson doing the bulk of the work, and so far Spurrier not a run, and he's a big-time runner.
Yep.
3rd and 2. I think this deep there in 4-down territory, Tony.
Yes, I believe so too.
4:08 and counting here in the first quarter. Second possession for these Bruins. They're going to give it to Thompson straight ahead, and it looks like he's got the first down with about a 3-yard gain.
And that was a good, strong run. And they're, like I said, they're loading the box.
They really are. And the Bruins at this point aren't really going to wide sets. They've got one tight end and a tight slot to the tight end. And then their slot and wide receiver to the other side sometimes are squeezing a little tighter. They've got a wide out Carter Robinson to the right here. But, again, 2 wings, tight end, and then
and their man coverage, I mean, you look at their corners are eyes in.
They're playing zone. They're playing 3 deep. But that time it was obvious they were going to go to Spurrier because there were no backs next to him or behind him. It was basically an old single wing look, just like they used to run with
Coach Lewis.
Joe Hall. Yeah, Joe Hall at quarterback.
Yep,
they would big 230-pound quarterback, fullback basically.
Basically a linebacker.
Exactly. Spurrier. So Spurrier basically on a lead play right there, following maybe a power look behind his fullback, Mason Thompson there. Brooks in motion. They're going to give on the jet sweep. There's some space, but the speed of the Trojans getting there close to a first down. I don't think he got it, do you?
No, I think he's short by maybe a yard.
So he may have picked up 4 on the carry. I think they only gave Spurrier 4 on the first one, so maybe 5 for Brooks. Carter Robinson coming up a little gimpy, blocking out there in front of the play. So 3rd down and 1 coming up, 5-yard carry for Brooks. And they are getting close to the red zone. It's, again, on the 23-yard line, actually inside the 20 now to the 18-yard line. 3rd and 1 from the 18, and Carter Robinson is going to limp off. Again, the Trojans are stacking the box, 4-man front, playing a zone look with their corners and the safety, 3 deep look. If there is a pass, their linebackers will be dropping into zone, but all of them are up there to stop the run of the Bruins. They're going to have Spurrier running, Spurrier off the left, and he's going to get the first down.
And then a couple more on
Yeah, about a 6-yard gain for Spurrier. It looked like they may have got a hold of his face mask, but I don't think I see a flag. So first down, Spurrier and the Bruins. So big 6-yard run. He almost slipped coming around the corner there, and that's what we saw with Manny Wimberly trying to go for a low snap, slipping, and Spurrier almost slipped trying to cut it back up inside. If he had gone down, it might have been 4th and 1 there, but he was able to keep his feet and get up into the hole. First down and 10. Spurrier's going to go off the right side. He's got some room and some blocking. He's going to run it out of bounds. I don't know how much he got running sideways, but looks like they got a few on that.
About 5, Coach. Well, maybe 4.
So down to the 10 from the 13. We're going to give him 3. And never turned it up, Tony.
Never did. And that was kind of another like single wing type look. That's what you would do in the single wing. You'd run to the power side, and your quarterback would do that reading, just run the ball, and you basically have 2 leading blockers on the strong side of the line blocking for you.
So tight end is to the left with the slot and the running back. They're going to throw it. Thompson's open, but their blitz is on him in a second. Big play. AJ Ruggiero, number 50, is there to make the sack. And so there the Bruins are now back to the 14-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 11. And here you are driving the football all the way down the field, and not a great idea there, I don't think. But I think he had an opportunity to get it to Mason Thompson, though, and just with the pressure, he just pulled the ball down.
They were in there quick, Coach.
They were in there really quick. AJ Ruggiero is not a linebacker. He's one of the D tackles, and he was there immediately. 132 and counting. 3rd down and 11 now.
You know, this is 2-down territory. Let's see what they can do with this one.
Quarterback counter. Guys all over the backfield on Spurrier. Ruggiero there again. Number 50 making another play in the backfield. 44, Nakai Hunter there as well. So they tried to run the quarterback counter, but there was all kinds of pressure there, and he's going to lose a yard on the play, bring up 4th down and 12. And I don't think field goal is an option. Punt's definitely not an option. So you may see them take a shot here, try to figure out some way to get the ball down the field here and take a chance.
I figured they'd go to a spread look where they could roll them out and get them out in space maybe.
Again, I expect to see blitz. I expect to see a lot of pressure here. We'll see if they can protect well enough for him to have a chance to get the ball off. He's got a lot of pressure on him. He's going to let it go. Hobbs there, leaping, catching. Touchdown, Bruins! With 28 seconds to go here in the quarter, Spurrier took a shot, and Hobbs went high to get the ball. And that's such an advantage. A 6'4", 250-pound tight end. You should take those shots.
There's 2 plays where he's came up big on for the Bruins there, jumping up and, getting that ball, being aggressive.
So big touchdown throw there, 15-yard touchdown. Going for 2, and they're going to pick it up as he threw it over to Thompson. Mason Thompson is going to get in, and so the Bruins, with the lonesome polecat or swinging gate, whatever you want to call that formation, that look, comes through. So a 2-point conversion, and with 28 seconds to go, it's Bruins 8, Trojans 7. So everything we expected. The first game was a 26-21 thriller. Bruins came out on top, scoring with about 4 minutes to go, and we're about dead even right here as far as play, as far as what's happening on the field. Scoreboard, 1 point separating these guys. I think we're going to be going the distance tonight, Tony.
Yeah, I was surprised North on that drive when they got the ball back. They did not go that no huddle. They slowed down their pace, which I was surprised when just go straight back to that.
This is a Hardin County Education and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools live Channel 1 programming, sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunications needs. So Jackson Engstrand, number 19, will be kicking it off. Number 3, Micah Parms. Number 6, Quayshawn Davis back deep for the Trojans. I don't think they're going to see the football. I think the Bruins are going to employ the strategy of, well, they are going to kick it deep, and they're kicking it to Quayshawn Davis, who's struggling to handle it. He's got it now, however, and he just breaks it. He's gone. Touchdown. This is 6 points, and that's why you don't kick it back there. Gone. Quayshawn Davis, number 6. He made the big play last time on the screen pass, and there was nobody in front of him. Couple of good blocks, and Quayshawn Davis, 6 points the other way.
And you hate to see that, but I mean, he mishandled the kickoff, but nobody was there to even get in his face to tackle him.
Yeah, it kind of bounced off his shin as he was trying to reach down to grab it, but he picks it up, and there was some really good blocking and some poor coverage by the Bruins. And so, well, the Bruins have given the lead right back, so it's 13-8 with 16 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Again, back and forth we go. And it's Bruin on the field here, and they may wear down this Trojan defense. Logson's going to kick it, and the kick is good. So 14-8 Trojans. So they strike back immediately. Now, interestingly enough, it was the Trojans winning the special teams battle last time as well with that opening kickoff situation. They kicked the ball to the 2, and the Bruins didn't field it, thought it was going to go into the end zone. They came down, pounced on the ball, and then scored on their first play. 8 seconds into that game, the Trojans had scored after kicking off. Physical Therapy Associates gives you more personal attention for more effective results with locations in Elizabethtown, Hodgenville, Radcliffe, and South Louisville. Online at physicaltherapyky.com. Winding Springs Luxury Living, located in Elizabethtown on Nicholas Street. Now leasing brand new apartments and condos. Also available as Black Branch Self-Storage for all your storage needs. Call 270-766-1155 today to make an appointment or visit WindingSpringsEtown.com and BlackBranchStorage.com. So Jabari Rashid will be on again, and again the wind is still behind the Trojans. It's a little bit out of Jabari Rashid's left-hand side. It's kind of coming across him left to right as he's approaching the ball, but it's helping more than anything, and the ball won't stay on the tee.
We have to get somebody out there to hold it on there.
And give him one more shot to just set it on there, but if that thing gets knocked off by the wind again, they'll have to get, as Tony said, someone to spot the ball. Rashid taking his steps. Carter Robinson, Terry Brooks back deep for the Trojans. Last time Rashid knocked it into the end zone, and here it goes again. He's going to pound this one with the wind behind him. Looks like Brooks is going to field, and he is going to bring it back. He's got some room up ahead. Makes a nice cut, another nice cut up over the 40, up to the 42. Now listen, Tony, I saw something really interesting on that, and that was the Trojan kickoff team jogging. I think they expected that ball in the end zone, and there was not a whole lot of hustle, and Terry Brooks got to the 33-yard line before he got to the first Trojan. So,
the ball looked like it would have had a good bounce to the end zone if it wasn't fielded, but he fielded that clean, and he was off to the races.
So good field position for the Bruins. They start at their own 43, the left hash. Again, Spurrier in the back. He's looking to throw the ball. He's got Hobbs open by the sideline. Hobbs now turning it up, but he's going to run with it. Spurrier kind of hit out of bounds a little late, but he's there's not going to be a flag. There was not much contact. Maybe a 2-yard gain. So about a 2-yard gain for Spurrier there. For a guy who is so tough and so strong and loves the contact, that's twice now he's run around the right side and not turned it up and put his shoulder into somebody and picked up the extra 2 or 3 yards that he possibly could get. So now 2 wide receivers, one to each side. Thompson behind Spurrier. He's going to follow a pulling Hobbs, but there's A.J. Ruggiero following the pulling lineman, making a big play. No gain.
No gain. And he got back there quick on that play. This is the second time this game he's affected what's going on behind the line of scrimmage. Pretty tough there.
He's made 3 big plays, as you said, 2 in the backfield, so that's the end of the quarter with the North Hardin Trojans leading 14-8. So the conditions to this point not making a huge effect. A couple of slips, a couple of situations with the wind, but both teams handling that quite well to this point. Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, a family-owned business with competitive prices, pickup service, and a friendly staff available for your recycling needs. Located in Elizabethtown on 31W, just south of Exit 91 on Interstate 65. Call 270-982-7206 to talk to someone about scrapping metal and recycling. E-Town Exterminating is a locally owned, family-run pest control company and has been serving Hardin, Meade, Grayson, and Nelson counties and the surrounding areas of Kentucky since 1976. Whatever your pest control issues are, termites, spiders, crickets, general pests, even moles, their team has the knowledge, skill, and training to safely and effectively eliminate the problem. Call 270-737-6900 or go online at mugabug.com. So the Bruins 3rd and 8 from their own 45 now. 2 wide receivers again. They're going to look to throw the football. Spurrier trying to cut up inside and run with it. Slipped, and he's only going to get about 4 yards, and that'll leave him 5 yards short at their own 49.
I think he had a lane if he hadn't slipped there to make more out of that play. But as soon as he slipped, it was rough business. It gave the Trojans a chance to recover, get back in there, and get on top of them.
To me, it looked like a planned quarterback draw. Carter Robinson, the left wideout, looked like he ran a slant, but he was jogging the whole way. It looked like it was not a route. So Spurrier will punt it away. He's got the wind behind him this time. Much better kick, a big kick. Handled there, fair caught by the Trojans. Quason Davis at about the 22-yard line. 21 maybe, yeah. Yeah, 21. So 11:19 to go. The Trojans will take back over from their own 21-yard line, and the Trojans have the advantage here, football and the lead. And they've looked pretty sharp.
But now they're going into the wind, so we'll see if that affects them at all.
Absolutely, especially with the passing game that they want to have here. 2 wide receivers to each side. It's cover 4 look for this Bruin squad here. They're going to throw the quick screen to Kai Boyd, and that is incomplete. It was thrown pretty hard and a tough one to handle right there.
It was. I mean, on that defensive line versus the offensive line front, I mean, right there, Trey Alexander just pancaked the defensive tackle on that down.
He is a massive man. Tough one to handle. Maybe a 4-man front look here now for the Bruins, trying to take the run away, but they can't do it as Boyd makes a big run. Maybe the first down. It's really close, Tony. Tackle there by Tucker Walters and Nolan
Looks
Goodman.
like he's going to be a little bit short.
They're going to spot him at the 30. I thought he got the 31, but they're going to spot him at the 30. So it's going to bring up what looks like about a 3rd down and 1 for this Trojan squad.
They may be bringing up the chains on this one.
Yeah, they've got the 2nd down on the marker, but it is 3rd down, and it looks like they're going to go quarterback sneak again. Quarterback is under center, Manny Wimberly, and again, he is very large, and they've got the big guys inside with him there. And he's going to push. It looks like he's got the yard. Didn't get much there. It looks like that kind of took Trey Alexander, the right guard, by surprise when they snapped it. He did not get fired off, which would have made an easy 1st down, but they get a yard and a 1st down.
And you'd almost think that's going to be their go-to almost every time now.
Again, it's a 4-man front kind of look. Going with an extra backer in the box as well.
Like
they're going to throw the slant. Man, they had Quayshawn Davis open. He would have scored, Tony. It looked like kind of a slant or a skinny post, and the ball was behind him.
It looked like number 11 for Central got his hands on the ball.
Oh, you think Lamarion Blunt may have tipped it a little?
Tipped it there right before it got to him.
Well, that may have been why it was off target and why Davis couldn't handle it. 2nd down and 10 for this Trojan squad here. They're going to give the ball to Boyd. He is immediately stuck in the backfield. He breaks 2 tackles. Still nothing there.
And that was 2 downs also in a row that they faked that screen and tried to do something else out of it.
Yeah. So 3-yard loss will bring up 3rd down and 13. It was Adam Hobbs, the first one there in the backfield. Cleaned up, I believe, by Easton Link. 2 receivers to each side on 3rd and 13. Snap looked a little late. They've got deep guys running downfield. Quayshawn Davis is behind everybody, and that's going to be a holding call. Mason Thompson grabbed the back of his jersey, and everybody's complaining, and the corners are complaining big time. Mason Thompson complained a little, but he knows he did it.
Yes. Which is sad. The ball was overthrown.
But Davis was behind everybody, and Thompson grabbed him as he went by, and that's going to be a 15-yard penalty. It's not a spot foul. The offense is running up to the opposite 20 like this is the NFL. It's a 15-yard penalty and a first down. Yeah. So 1st and 10 for the Trojans. They have the ball at their own 44-yard line on the pass interference call. Yeah, that ball was not going to be completed, but certainly Thompson did not know that. Boyd on the run off the left side. Big carry, 14-yard gain there as he's dragging defenders down the field. So Kai Boyd having another big night here at Central Hardin.
It looks like they're switching back to that hurry-up now.
Great idea. They shouldn't have gone away from it, to be honest with you. But they've got the ball over midfield now at the 44-yard line of Central Hardin. Quick screen to Boykins. He's going to break a tackle. Goodman couldn't get him, and he's breaking more tackles. Finally knocked out of bounds by Nolan Goodman after a big gain there of about 13 yards. So Boykins now making his presence felt.
And that was really a missed tackle opportunity.
Absolutely.
He read the screen and was in position to do something about it. And
it looked like he was struggling with his footing to get there and get a hold of him as Mason Thompson trying to get there to make the tackle. 2 receivers to each side, 1st and 10 from the 29. They'll give to Boyd again. He's tackled in the backfield. and they're going to call him down.
By 55.
That's Brandon Barnes making the play, so big play by Barnes. So it's a 2-yard loss for Boyd. So right after a 14-yard gain, he'll lose 2. And second down and 12 now from the 31-yard line. 9:12 to go.
And they're still continuing with that hurry-up package right now.
The Bruins back a little deep in coverage. Wimberly looking down the field. He's got Davis wide open. I'm not sure where the underneath coverage was, but brought down, it looks like, by Mason Thompson. So the gain looks like about a 7-yard gain, and to bring up a 3rd down and 5. Or is it more than that? Oh, no, big gainer. That's about a 10-yard gain, bringing up 3rd and 2. So Wimberly to Davis.
And he's coming up under center.
I think, 3rd and 1.5, you can run. If you don't get it this time, you'll get it the next time on the quarterback sneak. There's no way they're going to stop that size and push. And
it looks like he's got it.
I think he's got about 4 or 5, actually. So a pickup of 4 for Wimberly on that. Honestly, Tony, they could run quarterback sneak the entire game and probably
get a couple of yards.
Have some success.
Just run it up behind
I
the
think
guard.
I think if you stack too many people inside, he'll get around it to the tackle, and you'll have even bigger problems. 8:16 and counting. 1st down and 10 from the 18 here. 2 receivers to each side. They're spread pretty wide to the left here. I'm not sure if that means screen or if it means run. It might mean they're spreading the Bruins out to run the football. Watch for Kai Boyd to have the ball in his hands right here. They are going to throw it, actually. Looking to his left.
Some pressure, but
he's got all kind of space. He's throwing it over the middle, right through Boykin's hand. That could have been 6 points easily there. And Wimberly made a really good throw. And, again, that's probably wet football.
And Boykins is giving them some fits right now on the coverage.
Boykins is the 2nd leading receiver for this squad. It's Davis with 44 receptions, Boykins with 26 on the season. So he is 1A of their wide receiver core. 2nd down and 10 now. Same look. Boykins and Seeley to the left. They're going to go to no, that's actually number 2, Sean Rose.
Boykins came out for a play.
Boykins came out for a play. They get it to Rose, Sean Rose, number 2, and the screen looks like it got about 4 yards. Bring up a 3rd down and 6 there, so first throw to Sean Rose on the evening. Now empty backfield on 3rd down and 6. They're really spreading the field out here. It'll be a 3-man rush, and Wimberly's got a lot of time. He's going down the middle to Coffee. Touchdown, Trojans. 15 yards, Wimberly to Coffee. And another score for this Trojan squad.
And he had a comfortable time in that pocket. He had, by the time the rush got there, he had plenty of time to see where the ball was going downfield.
So that's the advantage of getting the going to that empty set. You spread that defense way out, and it was just a 3-man rush, and he had tons of time there, and Coffee was able to break open in the middle of the field. That's a coverage breakdown, obviously, for the Bruins to leave a guy that wide open in the middle of the field. Kick is up, and Logston looks like he's knocked another one through. So 21-8 with 7:19 to go, and the Trojans are dominating this football game right now. And the Bruins are really going to have to make something happen here in this last 7 minutes of the quarter to keep this thing within striking distance.
You think they'd want to grind this drive down, get a score, and look to getting the ball back at the half?
So they've got the win with them. West Point Bank has 5 offices located in Elizabethtown, Radcliffe, Upton, Glendale, and West Point, or find us online at westpointbank.com. Let us help make life simpler. West Point Bank, hometown banking made simple. So the Bruins will take back over here, and we'll see if they can, like Tony said, grind something out here, run that clock down, keep possession, and put some points on the board. If they don't get points on the board before halftime, this could be a tough one here. They will get the ball back to start the half, as you mentioned, the second half. So if you could almost get a two possessions in a row here, that would really help the Bruins out here. A long, sustained drive, and don't give the Trojans much time to do anything with the football here at the end of the half. That would really help. But just getting first downs is critical.
It's going to be key.
It really is.
They had a
It's
good
critical
return
for
in the
them.
last drive, too. So
Let's see if this Trojan kickoff team will run a little harder. Rashid's going to kick it away. Ball is high, so it will be fielded in return. Carter Robinson has it. Better coverage getting down the field. Robinson makes a nice cut, but he's dragged down at the 26-yard line. That's number 23, Mason Howard. So good open field tackle. Better hustle by that Trojan coverage team.
yeah, and he's kicking into the window. They need to be hustling.
Yeah, that's why that ball is fielded at about the 8-yard line as opposed to going into the end zone like it was going the other direction. So at the 26, the Bruins will take over. It's number 74 at center right now. That's A.J. Orton. Broke his ankle about 8 weeks ago, and he's back. Got doctor's clearance, and he is doing it. Spurrier now with the football, trying to make someone miss. Parms has got a hold of him, and he is not letting go. About a 4 or 5 yard gain for Spurrier on the scramble. And number 3, Micah Parms, making a really sure tackle on that play.
Looked like he was about to get away from that and was able to keep a hold of him and not let him get away.
So second down at 6 at the 30-yard line. They need to get to the 36. And they turned the wrong way on the play. Total miscommunication and we've got a fight going on the field. And the officials are late on that as Carter Robinson was getting into a fight with Micah Parms. Parms was on him. It looked like Parms threw him and maybe even thrown a shot in there, but the officials did not see that like I can from my vantage point here. The Bruins, though, are, after just a short gain of maybe 2 yards, are going to have a 3rd down and 4 now after the broken play. Thompson went right and Spurrier turned left. That's a problem.
In that tight formation again.
The tight look. Fumbled ball. Spurrier has to jump on it, and they'll have to give possession up as they tried to run the jet sweep. And it looked like Spurrier was really reaching for Brooks and never got it on his stomach. I don't know if Brooks was too far away from him or Spurrier didn't step to him. I don't know whose fault that is, but bad ball handling there is going to lead to a punt. So a 3-yard loss, and the Bruins will punt it away. And a very good kick by Spurrier, low running kick. It's going to be down at about the 33. So good job of punting the ball there with the wind behind them.
So what do you think the Bruins defense need to do on this series?
They're going to have to figure out how to stay attached to the receivers and not give guys wide open looks, which the Trojans are getting wide open looks anywhere and anytime they want right now. So the underneath coverage has got to get attached to these receivers. They can't let them run free down the middle of the field, across the field, slants, everything. That was a big play to Boyd, about a 12-yard gain. That was a backwards pass. It was basically a sweep, but overhand throw as opposed to an underhand pitch. That will go down in the books as a rush, Tony.
Yeah.
So 12-yard carry for Kai Boyd. Even though he threw it overhand, that is a lateral.
I don't know where they're positioning that ball at right now.
Yeah, that's not a good spot for the Trojans. They still should have a first down, but just a terrible spot. They are going to say first down, but they only gave him 10 yards, easily had 12. From our vantage points, we had a pretty good view of what was going on there.
That's why when they pulled up short, I was like, I don't think they saw what they should have been seeing.
Well, they only gave him 10, but that's a 1st and 10. They're sitting at their own 44-yard line now with 5:27 to go here. Blitz coming from Blunt, but he runs inside, and Wimberly's going to get around the outside. He is laid out by Adam Hobbs. Maybe a 1 or 2 yard gain there for Wimberly, but big play by the defensive end.
I think it's the first blitz they've shown so far.
Absolutely. So Wimberly gets nothing on that as Hobbs is able to track him down and knock him out of bounds. The two big guys going at it, and it was Hobbs winning that affair. Two receivers to each side. It's the cover 4 look, that zone look for the Bruins. Man, that might be a flag. Andrew Hobbs got there and was able to hit Wimberly on the throw. It looked like the right on the Bruin right side, number 30 Easton Link was coming through on a blitz and was grabbed by the tackle, but no flag.
Yeah, he had a handful of shirts on that one.
I mean, he turned his shoulders completely sideways. That's a clue.
And grabbed everything.
Absolutely. So a ball still at about just short of the 45. 3rd down and 10, a long 9 really. 5:14 to go on the incomplete pass. The clock is stopped.
I would say they're going to go to their man who's been successful against him this play.
Going to look to his right to Quayshawn Davis down the field.
Quayshawn
trying to pull up and come back to the ball. A little low on the throw. Tony, he had him beat deep, but they were running a curl route.
Yep.
Quayshawn Davis runs past Carter Robinson. They could have had the deep ball easily. They obviously had called a hook route. And when he hooked up, when he turned back, he ran right into the guy that had been covering him. Yeah, so good play by the Bruins to turn them over, get the ball back on. It's on 4th and 9 from their own 45. The Trojans will kick it away.
Let's see if we can get a clean return here if it's just going to be downed.
So I believe it's Terry Brooks back, or is it Carter Robinson? They take, oh boy, shanked off the side of his foot. Get away from the football. Jeez Louise.
I don't think he realized you don't touch it.
It's number 5, Brandon Lee. When the ball was shanked off the side of the punter's foot, he thought about maybe trying to catch it on the bounce and take off with it. But once you decide not to, you need to run away from the football. So somebody needs to catch him as he's coming off the field and let him know that don't fool with it. Get away from the football. That's one of those, and somebody's talking to him down there right now.
That's when you get an earful.
Absolutely. So dangerous, but the Bruins have the football. 4:59 to go here. They've got it on their own 45, so good field position because of the missed punt, the shanked punt. Play action passing look down the field, big throw, overthrown as Spurrier was drilled, and he's slow to get up there. I believe it was 23 Mason Howard hit him hard.
Yep. Just to go back on that defensive series by the Bruins, it looks like they put some blitz packages
CL
in there.
patients specifically,
Yeah,
we have them
throw
do
off the rhythm
a little more pressure.
The passing game.
Yes. That time it was Carter Robinson up the left sideline, one-on-one on Micah Parms, and Spurrier took a shot, throwing it deep, but also took a shot from the blitzing linebacker. 2nd down and 10 now, 4:53. The clock is stopped on the incomplete pass. Spurrier's first incomplete pass of the ball game. He's tucked it and run a bunch of times on pass calls. And there they go on the jet sweep. It looks like Brooks has it. Brooks is going to be – he kind of slipped, and I think they're going to call a face mask. Number 4, Elijah Palmer got a hold of the face mask.
I'm going to assume face mask because that's what it looked like to me from here.
No, they're calling a hold on the Bruins. So Brooks looked like he was starting to slip. He kind of looked like his face mask was grabbed and it turned him, but there was a hold somewhere in that line of scrimmage. And so the Bruins on this run-happy attack are going the wrong way. They kind of have a hard time dealing with these long yardage situations. So the 2-yard gain will actually become about a 9-yard loss. And I'll bring up about 2nd and 19. They're sitting at their own 37-yard line. They need to get to the opposite 45. Looking to throw. He's going to get drilled again. Going deep. Can't quite get there. It wasn't thrown wide enough. And A.J. Ruggiero absolutely drilled Zach Spurrier.
And Ruggiero's been causing all kinds of havoc in the backfield this game.
He sure is. He's not getting a lot of protection out of this Central Hardin front. As good as they are in the run game, not right now doing a very good job in protection. So 3rd down and really, really long. I'm not sure what kind of a play you've got for this, and I think they're going to call a timeout here. So the Bruins will call timeout to talk about this 3rd down and 19 call, 3rd and 18 call maybe. This is an HCEC-TV student production, Division of Hardin County Schools. Special thanks to our live sports coverage sponsors, Brandenburg Telecom, Physical Therapy Associates, Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, Winding Springs Luxury Living, Black Branch Self-Storage, West Point Bank, and E-Town Exterminating. Tune in weekly for all local HCEC-TV programs airing on Brandenburg Telecom and Comcast Cable's Channel 2 and Spectrum Channel 184. All HCEC-TV programs on the HCEC-TV YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel today to get your local community sports and events. Special thanks to our HCEC-TV crew, led by Ron Hartley, Jarrett Cox, Richard Jenkins, Kyler Barkley, and Ali Barr. Thanks to them for bringing us the action tonight. We'd also like to thank NFHS, the National Federation of High School Sports, and its support in providing live streaming service. Contact nfhs.com to subscribe today. So let's see what they've got drawn up for this 3rd and 18 play. As the Bruins from their 37 have to get to the 45. They are looking down the right side. Spurrier's got plenty of time this time. He's going to look and throw across his body, wide open down the field. Noah Payton has it! Trying to outrun the coverage. Touchdown, Bruins!
And he was wide open in that scene.
63 yards to Noah Payton. Noah is a sophomore. He has played sparingly, but he has been in the football game at different spots during the year. I'm looking to see if that is his first catch of the season. It is, Tony.
And a touchdown.
And a touchdown. So 63-yard touchdown from Zach Spurrier to number 35, Noah Payton. I've got to write Noah Payton down on my paper here. I do not have him on my stat sheet because he has not seen a lot of action. But the big sophomore is going to be a big part of this program going forward. And he has a 63-yard touchdown catch from Zach Spurrier. What do you think, Tony?
I think it was just bad coverage. I mean, there was actually multiple guys open, but he was clearly plenty of time to throw. He made some time for himself on that little bit of a scramble there at the end and found his receiver and just had daylight to go.
He sprinted right, and Payton had come from the left side, I think at a wingback position. That's what he would normally play. He's not a wideout. He's a wingback or a fullback. And he was down the middle of the field. So in a cover 3 look, you ought to have a safety in the middle of the field. That safety was past the hash mark, way to the side of the field and not where he should have been. That's why you've got to be disciplined in your coverage. You get out of your zone, and somebody's going to be there. Spurrier made a tough throw back across his body. It was a little wobbly, but that's where it may have helped to have the wind a little behind
carried
you.
a little bit.
May have carried for him a little bit here. So the Bruins have Jackson Engstrand, number 19, on to attempt the point after. It's 21-14 right now with 4:26. Big plays galore in this one. It's down. Kick is up.
It's good.
And Engstrand will knock it through. So the Bruins will make it a 6-point ball game with 4:26 to go. Big play Bruins. And, we thought the big plays for the Trojans were a key to victory for them. Well, we see a big play pop up here for the Bruins.
Until that down, the Trojans have been showing some really good coverage defense and being able to get some pressure on the quarterback, causing issues in the backfield, and just got that timeout, set up that play, and got it going.
Well, it looked like that time that the pressure the Trojans brought was off of their defensive right side, and Spurrier went to their defensive left side. He rolled out to his right to the defensive left, and nobody there. Ruggiero was the nearest guy, and he was double-teamed. They were able to do a good job picking up the blitz off the defensive right side, their left offensive line side.
I would assume this is going to be a grounded kick.
If it's not, I'm going to assign you to head down to the field to start calling the special teams, making the special teams calls here. Yes, thank you. Ball bounces high, and it looks like Alex White, number 8. Is going to down it there. So they'll take over. The Trojans will at about the 37 or 38-yard line. Great field position for them. But if they had done that the previous time, the Bruins, they would not have given up the 6 points to Quayshawn Davis. My dad, who was a 40-year football coach and a great football coach, I think you coached against him once or twice.
Yep, a couple of times.
In middle school coaching. He coached at the college level. He coached at the high school. He coached at every level. And he said the most dangerous play is the kickoff because you kick it to their best player, their most explosive player in the open field. Another backwards pass or that one was handled. Nolan, Goodman, Mason, Thompson, and Caden Ferguson all there, Tony.
They were ready for it that time.
So Wimberley, the announcers down the way here are calling that a pass. That is not a pass. That is a lateral For that time just for a 1-yard gain to Kai Boyd, but that will count as a rush in the official stat book. Even though it's a completed overhand throw, it's backwards.
Yeah, if he misses it,
it's a fumble.
It's a live ball.
Oh, it's a live ball if he misses, absolutely.
Hopefully the refs know that too.
Yeah, I think it's such a – and there's a screen thrown to Rose, and he makes a good move, but he can't get away. I believe that was Ferguson again, Tony.
Yep. And it looks like the Bruins defense are finally showing some signs of life and what they had been doing in previous games.
So Rose this time, his second catch on a screen, this time minus 2 yards instead of a 4-yard gain like before. 3rd and 11.
If the Bruins can get a stop here and cause a return to the office and get a score, we could be looking at a different ball game going on.
Let me know if you see blitz here because they put more pressure with a blitz last time. Let's check and see. It looks like they're bringing the inside backer. Throw down the middle, tipped. Oh my goodness. Woo! So man cover on the outside from Carter Robinson. He was covering Quayshawn Davis, doing a great job, but one of the other linebackers tipped it.
Yep, and all I know is we worked on tip drill. When we see a ball tip,
get to that thing, man.
It is run to that ball.
Well, that
I don't
ball,
care where you're at, you run to that ball.
That ball, fortunately, I think it may have been a little slippery. We couldn't get going fast enough there, but I believe that was Nolan Goodman on the blitz, number 20, and I couldn't see who tipped the ball away, however. It was Caden Elmore back, almost intercepting that ball. It's a low kick by Caden Logston, and Brooks is just going to get away from it, which is kind of what I suggested. Just, if you can't handle it, get away from the thing. Smart play, Terry Brooks getting away from the football, not standing around by it like his teammate did on the last punt there. So
in that middle of that field is getting darker and darker brown. It was already slightly brown anyways, but it's getting darker and darker as this game goes.
I'm sure they can see that on camera, but yes, it is. It's going to be harder and harder to keep your feet and to make plays out there on the field. So the Bruins have 2:59 to go. One timeout, yeah. And they're going to have to go about 80 yards. Oh my goodness, quick toss. The ball's on the ground. It will be – that is not a pass. That should be a fumble, and it should be Trojan football as Nakai Hunter jumps on the toss sweep pitch, and that is going to be Trojan football as it was ruled by the side judge to be an incomplete pass. That is not an incomplete pass. That should be Trojan football. Bad pitch and just not handled. What's going on here? If I was Coach Brent Thompson, I'd be throwing a fit.
The only thing I can think of is he called it down as a pass before anybody could jump on the ball.
Or maybe he said he had it. Wow, that's not an incomplete pass. That is awful. Trojans just got robbed. Huge mistake by the Bruins in their own end at the end of the half. I think you're right. He blew the whistle, and there's nothing he could do about it at that point.
Once it was already called a dead pass, it was done.
2nd and 10, and quick throw to Mason Thompson. He'll get about 5. So I guess on my stat sheet, I'm going to call that a pass since that's what they ruled it, even though that is totally bogus. So this time a 5-yard pass to Mason Thompson, his second catch of the game. But, wow, what a turn of events there. That is horrible. Officiating. That is toss sweep. It was just tossed too far in front, and Brooks couldn't handle it. And, sheesh. You hate to see stuff like that maybe be the difference in a ball game. 3rd down and 5. They're trying to draw the defense offside, so they went with their freeze look, and so coach will call timeout here. 2:13 to go. Central will talk about this 3rd down and 5. They need to keep possession with 2:13 to go here. This is a Hardin County Education and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming is sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunications needs. Physical Therapy Associates, more personal attention for more effective results with locations in Elizabethtown, Hodgenville, Radcliffe, and South Louisville. Online at physicaltherapyky.com. Winding Springs Luxury Living, located in Elizabethtown on Nicholas Street. Now leasing brand new apartments and condos. Also available is Black Branch Self-Storage for all your storage needs. Call 270-766-1155 today to make an appointment or visit WindingSpringsEtown.com and BlackBranchStorage.com. So Bruins 3rd down and 5. Do they throw the football? Do they run the football? I can't imagine throwing it in this situation and taking a chance of turning the thing over here.
No.
And I can't see pitching it like you just did.
I see an inside run coming.
Inside run with Spurrier with the football and not handing it to anybody, but he's going to give it to Brooks on the jet sweep. Good cutback. Runs hard. I think he got the first down. Big run by Brooks. He put his head down and just tried to bull ahead, and he got it.
And, I mean, that whole series was a Dodgers bullet right there.
Whew. You know, the last time they ran that jet sweep, they put it on the ground as well with a poor handoff exchange.
Those exchanges on the pitches and the sweeps have not been clean.
Well,
I don't know if that's a wet ball condition or
wet ball, and those are tricky handling. They're quick. You're getting rid of it quick, or you're handing it to a guy that's running full speed, and it's timed up. So that's tough. So.
Oh, he's going for a pass on this deal.
Yeah, they're going to take a look down the field. They've got Hobbs down there. It's on the money. Oh, boy, just a little overthrown. Hobbs was diving for it. Whoo! So I like what's happening offensively as far as Spurrier now avoiding pressure by sprinting out. He gets to his right. He finds Hobbs downfield. Hobbs needs a little breather here after running all the way down the field.
And diving for the pass.
And diving for it. He may have knocked the wind out of himself a little bit.
But I think that also it makes the defense the Trojans have to back off some.
Yeah, Hobbs is really taking his time coming off. I think he knocked the wind out of himself diving for the football. He laid out completely, and that can easily happen. But, you know, when you've got him, like we saw on the touchdown catch earlier, when you've got him on a safety or a corner, take the shot.
Take the shot.
I mean,
especially if the safety and corner is 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah, I mean, you got a 6'4" guy and a 5'8" guy. You take the shot, and if you know, honestly, on the throw, you might not try to lead him. You just put it on him and let it be a jump ball. Go ahead and throw it up for grabs. You hate to do that normally, but in this case, you know, you're probably, it's not a 50-50 ball. It's probably an 80-20 ball in that case. 2nd down and 10. Going to look at the slant to Robinson, and he does not catch the football. He would have probably gotten a first down. Good play by Parms.
He got too busy looking for the hit to come on that play.
Yeah.
He started peeking inside instead of completing the catch and taking what he was going to get. He got caught peeking.
He did. So it'll be 3rd down and 10 now. They did a great job there, did the Bruin offense, of getting an open receiver on a slant route. They hadn't run the slant route all game, and I know they love to throw that slant route, and ball hit him right between the 1 and the 2. So, again, 3rd and 10, 1:31 to go. I'm sure, again, the Bruins don't want to give the ball back to this Trojan offense, but Trojans are in more of a quarters coverage look, a deep look, and they're going to throw the short one to Robinson again, and that one's not handled either. Spurrier gets drilled in the backfield again, and he's down and writhing a little bit in some pain. I believe it was Ruggiero again. And Spurrier is down, and there goes Jeremy Steakley out to take a look. We'll just really hope that he's okay. I know I hate to say this again. I'm very close with Zach. I know Zach very well, and he's such a great kid, and just hope everything's okay. It looks like they're looking at his foot or ankle, but Zach is a major baseball prospect. He's throwing his fastball about 92, 93 miles an hour right now, and he's getting a lot of attention. I know the baseball coach said to me today, and one of the football coaches as we were standing there talking, let's get him through this one okay. That guy needs to be quiet. You can't say stuff like that. You just can't. So Spurrier down on the field, and Jeremy Steakley taking a look at him. We'll just take a little break to talk about our sponsors here. Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling is a family-owned business with competitive prices, pickup service, and a friendly staff available for your recycling needs. Located in Elizabethtown on 31W, just south of Exit 91 on Interstate 65. Call 270-982-7206 to talk to someone about scrapping metal and recycling. E-Town Exterminating is a locally owned, family-run pest control company and has been serving Hardin, Meade, Grayson, and Nelson counties and the surrounding areas of Kentucky since 1976. Whatever your pest control issues are, termites, spiders, crickets, general pests, and even moles, their team has the knowledge, skill, and training to safely and effectively eliminate the problem. Call 270-737-6900 or go online at mugabug.com. West Point Bank has 5 offices located in Elizabethtown, Radcliffe, Upton, Glendale, and West Point, or find us online at westpointbank.com. Let us help make life simpler. West Point Bank, hometown banking made simple. Tony, it looks like they're helping him up. I don't think he's going to put any weight on that ankle or foot. But he is up. They are not calling for an ambulance. They're not calling for a... That totally looks like an ankle to me. What do you think, Tony?
Yeah, and it could have been a combination of maybe not just getting hit, just that wet field rolling up underneath it.
Yeah, it looks like they've got his shoe off and taking a look at him. And Tucker Walters coming to just say something to him there. They're struggling to get him off the field.
Hopefully just them being extra precautious.
So Spurrier will come out of the ball game here. It's 1:27 to go here in the second quarter. And if you're a Bruin fan, that is just a gasp. That's a punch in the gut. It'll fall on Caden Elmore. Caden Elmore has had 6 interceptions on the defensive side of the ball. He leads the team in interceptions. He's done a great job at the safety position. I'm sure the coaches and him did not want to be in this circumstance. And we're seeing Zach, you can tell on his face he's in a lot of pain and not going to be able to put any weight on that. So the punt is away, not a very good punt, as Spurrier is also the punter. It takes a good Bruin bounce, but really about a 23-yard punt. I believe that was Gage Bryant, 23, filling in, and the Trojans will take over at about their own 44, maybe 43-yard line.
With a minute 17, and I believe they got 2 of their timeouts left.
Plenty of time for a team that has this quick strike type of offense that will throw the football, can get into an empty set look. See how the Bruins played, if they're going to play kind of back or if they're going to bring some blitzes here to try to get some pressure. They've been much better in coverage when they put pressure on Wimberley. So 3 down linemen here. They're in their overbalanced combo coverage look, but it's Boyd this time, Kai Boyd, and he's headed toward the out of bounds. It looks like he'll get there to stop the clock. Yeah, about 6 or 7. They're going to give him 7, it looks like, to about the 50-yard line. So Kai Boyd, a big pickup on first down, and stops the clock. Ball sitting right at the 50-yard line. 59 seconds to go here. Referees are stopping the action for a moment here to have a talk. All right, it's a 2nd down and 4 here, and the Trojans now, I don't know what's going on here. Oh, they're going to reset the clock. Too much time had run off. 1:05 now on the clock here, and again, Boyd got out of bounds, so it will be started on the snap here. Trips formation to the right. Blitz coming off of the defensive right, but it's picked up. Bouncing back is Boyd. He's going to break another tackle, trying to get out of bounds again. Did he get out of bounds? It looks like they'll stop the clock. First down, about a 7 or 8 yard gain for Boyd.
And that should have been tackled in backfield. He just did a good job of just bouncing off that first initial hit and just scooting it out and bouncing it back outside and stopping the clock and gaining some yardage. It's just good, solid running, recognizing what's going on.
So maybe they did not call him out of bounds because the Trojans took a timeout. It may have been because it was a first down, they were stopping the clock and we're going to restart. There's 57 seconds to go here in the quarter in the first half, and the Trojans have the ball at the 42-yard line of the Bruins. So an 8-yard gain by Kai Boyd there, and you expect them to come out and quick strike throwing the football, but they've run it a couple of times and they're moving the football into Bruin territory. I think you've got to see them start throwing the football though.
And
at this
that wind
point.
is kicking in even harder now.
It's actually turned, though. Look at the flag.
The flag, yeah.
It's behind them now as opposed to being into them, which it would have been. So the direction of the wind has changed, and we can see flags right in front of us here on the Bruins sideline as well. So they have the wind with them here. Manny Wimberley dropping way back. He's going to go to the end zone deep. He's got Davis, but overthrown, man. That wind behind him, I think.
Like pushing that ball.
Oh, man. Whenever you have the strategy for that, folks, again, that's going to be 2nd down and 10 after that incomplete pass to Quayshawn Davis. But what you got to do when you've got that kind of wind behind you is you can't put the ball up in the air as much. You've got to kind of throw a lower trajectory on the line, shoot it at your target kind of throw, because the more you get it up in the air, the more it's going to sail.
Like one of those old Dan Marino passes where it's more like an arrow instead of a floater.
Yes. 2nd and 10 now. Empty backfield. Trips to the right, 2 to the left. They're going to look down the middle to Coffee. Coffee is trying to scramble. Nobody open right now. There is a flag down.
Play.
Great throw, but dropped by Boykin on the right sideline. It's got to be a hold, don't you think?
There's got to be a hold back there. He had some pressure getting in, and then all of a sudden we squirted out. Yep, there we go.
I'm not sure who had the pressure. I was looking into the coverage and the routes. And
it was a combination of multiple guys coming through there, Coach. It was a long developing play, and by then they got through.
Adam Hobbs, Andrew Hobbs, Tucker Walters, the guys up front right now, and that holding penalty will bring the ball back over the 50 to the 48-yard line of the Trojans. 42 seconds to go. People in the stands are offering me food, man. It's good to have good friends here at Central Hardin, man. I'm going to pass because, man, that looks good. I'm thinking funnel cake right now, not 2nd and 22.
Booster Club funnel cake from the band.
That's right, man. 2nd and 22 now. Funnel cake. Sorry. 2nd and 22. Trips to the right. Single receiver to the left. They'll have man cover to that left side. I believe that's Sean Rose at the top. Wimberly, Rose cutting across on the shallow. They're going to throw him the ball, but it's high tipped.
Tip again.
And Lemarion Blunt was going to try to go get it, but he slipped.
Lost that footing.
So they tried to get the shallow cross to Sean Rose to pick up some of that yardage. He could have turned upfield had it been a good throw, and he probably would have had 10 to 15 yards, but a little overthrown.
So 3rd and 22.
3rd and 22, 37 seconds remaining, and this is a dangerous spot for both squads. Bruins obviously can't give up a big play here. Trojans can't make a mistake and give it back to the Bruins. Open field kind of situation. So, again, trips to the right, single receiver. It looks like Seeley to the left, Devin Seeley, number 11. We're going to look to the right side here, though. Rose running deep. Carter Robinson's there. Boy, he let Rose a little behind him, but neither one of them could track it down.
And it looked like Walters got in there on a good shot there right when the pass was getting thrown.
Wimberly also limping off the field. Now it looks like he's got a little leg issue, but Tucker Walters, man, he brought a lick on Manny Wimberly. So both quarterbacks are really taking a beating tonight. Hopefully, again, Zach Spurrier will be okay. See Adam Hobbs kind of hobbling a little bit as well, but Bruins maybe taking a little worse for wear here in week 12 of the season. 21-15. The Trojans will punt it away again. Snap is bobbled. It got away. Caden. They're going to throw a flag, but the ball was dropped on the ground. You can't call that flag. Caden Logston dropped the ball, picked it up and kicked it, and was run into as the guys tried to block it. But once the ball is mishandled, once the ball is on the ground, he's a runner, man. He's got to pick that thing up. You can have contact.
There.
Absolutely. So missed opportunity for the Bruins with that ball on the ground. If they'd have blocked that, if they could have gotten right into his face, that would have been a big play. But Logston making a great play to pick it up and get it out of there. Roughing the kicker, 15 yards and a first down. The Trojan offense back onto the field. 18 seconds to go here, and that is a huge penalty. Man, that's going to take it down inside the 20-yard line? Wait a minute.
No. It was...
Oh, they picked it up. They waved it off.
They waved
it
off.
Yeah. When you drop that, when he drops it, he's a runner. Man, you can drill that guy.
Which is what they should have did.
Exactly. So, okay, good. So they've made the right call. They've reversed themselves on that. And the Bruins will have it.
2 bad calls in this game would have been horrible.
I mean, it would have kind of been justice in this case because it would have gone back the other direction. But 18 and a half seconds, the Bruins will have it. It'll be Caden Logston. I see Zach Spurrier in a golf cart right now, being hugged by his teammates. And it's like Jeremy Steekler is going to take him away. He may be headed to the hospital. It looks like his night is over when you're in a golf cart being driven off the field. So the Bruins will take a knee, and that will bring an end to the first half. The Trojans 21, the Bruins 15. A lot of intrigue, a lot of interesting things happening in this ball game, and that'll be we'll see what happens when we come back for second half action. This is Paul Gray and Tony Menendez. We'll see you in about 15 minutes.
Hello, I'm Regina Ryan, and I'm the Director of Hardin County Educational and Community Television. And joining me today is one of our longtime sponsors, Sean Rich with eTownExterminating.com. Sean, you all have been with us since the beginning, and without your support, we couldn't do what we do. Can you tell us about the company and when it got started and the background of how it got started?
Well, first of all, I'd just like to say thank you for this opportunity. We love to be able to be in this position where we can support Hardin County Educational Channel with all the athletic sports that we can. We feel like it's very important to do that. As far as our company, we are actually celebrating our 45th year this year, as of this month. And we're really excited about that. But as far as the company, we are a full-service exterminating company. We take care of termites, general pest control. We take care of from bed bugs to spiders to, like I said, termites to mice, whatever pest control that you need.
And how many employees do you have?
Currently, we have around 36 employees.
For those who haven't used your company before, what should they expect?
Well, we do, as far as general pest control, we do a monthly service, and we will come to your house and service the house, but we do a lot of exterior service, but we also go on the inside of the house.
Your services are available for both taking care of what happens inside your home and outside your home. So in regards to a client reaching out to you, what should they expect when they come to do some service inside the home for termite control, a roach issue, bed bugs, all the things that happen within the house? What should they expect?
When a technician comes to the house, they will inspect and they'll assess what needs to be done. Everything that will be done will be told to the customer prior to the treatment. We do have protocols in place with everything going on with COVID right now. We will wear a mask, we'll wear gloves, we'll sanitize our tanks, our hands, everything. So we make it as safe as possible for our technician and for the customer.
And exterior is wise.
Yes, we do a lot of service on the exterior. When we assess the property, we'll see where insects are coming into the building. We will make treatments on the outside, but also we'll make recommendations to those customers. If there's something that needs to be sealed or caulked, or a door jammed, or a sweep on a door needs to be fixed, then we'll tell the customer about that.
Now, besides that one-time service, it's really important to do monthly.
Yes, we have a monthly service. What we do is we assign that customer with a regular technician. Majority of our technicians have been with us for years, so you'll have the same person each time. But they'll give you a call the night before, set up a time for an appointment. They'll come out, they'll service. If you have any problems in between services, all you have to do is give our office a call, or we give the customer's direct line to their technician. They can call them, they'll come back out, and they'll take care of it with no extra charge.
Now, I know you're located in Hardin County, but where else do you service?
Well, we service all the surrounding counties, Meade, Nelson, Breck, Taylor, LaRue. We service about 9 different counties. So,
not that anybody wants insects in their home, but what are the most popular insect that you deal with?
We deal with, on a regular basis, spiders, ants, cockroaches, bed bugs, and mice.
Oh gosh, that's
And then we have a lot of seasonal insects. Ants during the summer, we have a lot more because of the rain. And then during the spring or during the fall time of the year, we get a lot of calls like on crickets in houses. During the winter, we get a lot of calls for spiders and also for mice or rodents.
and so and you can help out with any of those types of insects and things.
Yes, with doing general maintenance, we can get it where you're not seeing anything.
Okay. I'm assuming annually there might be rise and falls of little critters or insects that might be a little bit more aggressive than before. Is that something that's common year to year?
Yes, I mean, we usually have one insect that will pop out each year, but generally right now that we have had probably more of an uptick right now are bed bugs, and we can take care of them. But it's a lot of prep work for the customers and for us.
I was going to say, it's anytime you get an infestation, it does take a little bit of time, correct?
Yes, one treatment for a heavy infestation will not take care of it.
Right. You were an athlete in high school. What sports did you participate in?
I played basketball. I ran cross country and ran track.
And your children, I know that they've also been very active.
Yes, I had a daughter that graduated in Elizabethtown 2016. She was a swimmer. A daughter that graduated in 2019. She was a soccer player. And I have a son right now that's a junior at E-Town. He's playing basketball and soccer.
Wonderful. And want to congratulate your oldest daughter is a nurse. She's on the front lines.
Yes, she just graduated from University of Kentucky this past spring. She accepted a position at Vanderbilt University Hospital, and so she's down there right now working there at Vanderbilt.
I was going to say on the front lines, those first responders.
Yes, we're very proud of her. She's taken on a task, and we're glad that she's in that position right now.
Yeah, and it means so much to those that she's taking care of, and so that's phenomenal. Your middle daughter is going to become the next generation of E-Town Exterminator.
Yes, my daughter Abby, last year she told us that she wanted to come back into the company, and so this year she's been working this summer, working with a lot of my supervisors, learning how to sell. She's been working with me a lot on the management side of it and financial, and we're going to bring her up into the company, and so we're really excited about that.
I was going to say, it must have been a proud moment when she said she wanted to continue in that role.
Yes, and I always said that Abby was my dad made over. So it's exciting to see her to, when I came up into the company, my dad always said that I was going to bring it up to the next level. Now I look at Abby, and I believe she's going to bring it up to the next level for me.
That's wonderful. Now, people that would like to get in touch, what do they do?
Well, they can call us. Our phone number is 270-737-6900. Or our website is www.muggabug.com. That's muggabug.com.
Amazing. And really, the nice thing about it is you get to talk to a real person.
Yes, we have 4 wonderful administrative assistants in our office, and they will talk to you live.
It really makes a lot of difference. And you're in the communities that you serve. You really give back to that community. And why is that important to you?
Well, as a family-owned company here in the community and as a product of this community, I feel like to reinvest into the things like this in sports, athletics, or a lot of other programs that we invest into with the Hardin County school system and with the Elizabethtown Independent School System, that we can give opportunities to these kids that normally they wouldn't have money or the advantages of doing that. And as an athlete, I always look at giving back to these type of programs, because not only are they competing, but they're generating friends and longtime friends for years to come, and that's what's more important than anything is getting these bonds. And I look back, I still have great friends that I played basketball with, or I ran cross country or track with, and they're probably some of my closest friends. So that's the reason. That's the big reason why I like giving back to these programs. Just give them opportunities to be part of something.
Well, and developing those relationships, you know, from assigning a specific technician to a resident to taking care of those relationships that you've established in the community. It's really what it's all about. Well, thank you, Sean, for being such a wonderful sponsor for HCEC-TV and Brandenburg Telecom's Live Channel 1 Sports. Without that support, we couldn't do what we do. And I just really appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Well, now it's time to get back to our live sports coverage. So we're looking forward to seeing those athletes in action from all of our area schools.
I am Kyler Barkley. I am with the Media Arts program in HCEC-TV. I am a third-year student, and today I am interviewing one of our longtime sponsors, President of West Point Bank, Josh Hubbard. Josh, tell us a little bit about West Point Bank and its history.
Yes, so West Point Bank was purchased by First Breckenridge Bank shares in the early 1980s. We were one facility there in West Point, and we've expanded from West Point into Upton, Glendale, Radcliffe, and Elizabethtown. So we have 5 locations throughout Hardin County, owned by First Breckenridge Bank shares, which owns several other banks throughout the Central Kentucky region. But West Point Bank is in Hardin County, with one location in Upton, which is actually in LaRue County, but 4 branches in Hardin County and 1 in LaRue County.
Could you tell us a little bit about services offered new and old?
Absolutely. So West Point Bank is a full-service bank. We provide free checking accounts, savings accounts, certificates of deposit, IRAs. We also make loans for just about anything. 1 to 4 family, primary residence loans, farm loans, agricultural loans, multifamily, automobile loans, you name it, we can pretty much do it when it comes to banking. So we obviously, like I said, are a full-service bank.
Is there any specific areas of involvement in your community that the bank makes?
Yes, so we really strive to serve the communities that we operate in, primarily all of Hardin and the surrounding counties. We pride ourselves in our employees living, working, going to church in the communities that our banks are located in. So whether it be participating with HCEC-TV, doing the sports coverage, the Heartland Parade, West Point River Days, Glendale Spring Fest, Upton Days, just the Hooray for Heroes or the Radcliffe Mayor's Breakfast, whatever that may be, we really strive to be involved and give back to the communities that we serve.
So you were talking about community involvement and HCEC-TV sport coverage. Is there anything, are you passionate about covering sports?
Absolutely. So we've been a longtime sponsor of this programming. When I grew up in high school, when I was growing up in high school, I obviously played high school sports. My son plays high school sports. A lot of the employees who work for me, their children play high school sports. And I just think that sports are great for children of all ages. It teaches them a lot of things. One, how to be a good teammate. You need to be a good teammate in order to be a good employee. It teaches them accountability. It teaches them work ethic. I think it teaches them how to win and how to lose. You know, life can be hard. There's going to be ups and downs, and winning a game, losing a game, winning as a team, losing as a team. I think it just gives valuable insight to just life in general by playing sports.
I completely agree and understand, and we appreciate your sponsorship. Now, is there any other extra information you would like to let the viewing audience know?
Just in general, West Point Bank, like I said, we strive to provide the best possible customer service that we can provide. We are extremely enthusiastic about the communities that we serve, the citizens in those communities, and we would really like to be your bank and to establish a relationship with you if we don't have one, and if we do have a relationship with you, to just further expand upon that relationship. We are, again, strive to provide the absolute best customer service and just, you know, are just thrilled to be a part of the community that we serve.
How can people get additional information about your bank? Do you have any sort of contact?
Yes, so we obviously, as I said earlier, we have 5 locations in, or 4 locations in Hardin County and 1 in LaRue County. So West Point, Radcliffe, Elizabethtown, Glendale, and Upton. You can follow us on Facebook. You can like our Facebook page. You can also visit us at westpointbank.com.
All right. Thank you again for your continued support. We wouldn't be able to do it without your support. Again, we appreciate you, and let's have a good season.
Jabari Rashid will be ready to kick off for the Trojans. Back deep for the Bruins, Terry Brooks and Carter Robinson. Ball is away. Robinson comes up and fields it at the 12-yard line. He's got a little bit of a crease trying to break through out over the 40, about up to the 42 or 43. Juwan Williams, number 7, will make the tackle. So good field position for the Bruins as Carter Robinson makes a great return as we're back for second half action. Paul Gray bringing the action alongside me, Tony Menendez. And a lot of big news from that first half, and we'll catch you up as we're going along here. But it'll be Caden Elmore at center, at quarterback, behind center for the Bruins here. 2 wide receivers, 2 wing backs. In an ace-looking set, they're going to give it to Mason Thompson on first down. Thompson's got a lot of space. Big carry on first down for the Bruins.
16, 17 yards. Maybe.
Yeah, good. I'm going to give him 15 for Thompson on the carry. Thompson only had 12 yards on 5 carries in the first half. The Bruins 20 carries, 40 yards in the first half. Could not run the football in the first half, whereas Kai Boyd with 13 carries for 88 yards for the Trojans, very effective. So that's a great start for the Bruins after a rough first half running the football. Now, they did throw 5 of 9 for 113 and 2 touchdowns to the Bruins, but I don't know how much of that we will see. Ball's loose, and again, a fumble as Mason Thompson lost his footing as he tried to get the handoff there. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 13 on the loss. And, Tony, you were outside during the halftime break. What's going on out there?
It is, well, it was raining pretty hard there at the half, and it kind of seems like it's like trickled down a little bit, but the wind is just blowing a gust right now. I don't know. I would think that North Hardin Trojans right now are going to come hard against the run because they're going to be looking at how are they going to pass in this situation.
So no back in the backfield. They're going to go with a reverse, and geez.
Nothing going on that.
A.J. Ruggiero. They cannot block A.J. Ruggiero tonight. Brooks is going to lose about 5 more back to the 50-yard line, and so it's going to bring up about a 3rd and 18 here for the Bruins. So a big loss there on that play. So 2 negative running plays in a row. They have really struggled to run the football, Tony.
Yeah, Ruggiero has gone off this game. He has been back there. It seems like every time there's a big loss, it's been Ruggiero back there.
It has. About a 20, 25-mile-an-hour wind. It's behind the Bruins right now. And so they may have an opportunity here throwing it. He's going to take a deep shot to Brooks, and it's going to be intercepted. Number 24 is there. Jalen Alfonso making the interception. Again, on a 3rd and long, that's as good as a punt right there. So that's not going to really hurt the Bruins, as Caden Elmore took a shot down the field to see if he could get it to Terry Brooks. Honestly, I would have loved to see him go down the middle of the field to Adam Hobbs on a little bit more of a straight shot there.
The only bad is the starting quarterback now is starting on defense as well because he's there playing their safety position.
He is their safety, and so the Trojans will take over from their own about 15-yard line. Boyd having a hard time getting a handle on the handoff, but he is running through tacklers. He's up to about the 24-yard line, just short of the first down. Yeah, yeah. Looks like 6-yard gain. So they had it at the 15. Actually, a little further than that. It's about a 7-yard gain. So Kai Boyd starts off the second half just like he was doing in the first half with another nice gain. He's up to 95 yards rushing right now. Second down and about 3. Going to get to Boyd again.
And they just stopped him right back there. It looks like Walter's on that.
Well, no, that's 41. That's Adam Hobbs.
Yep.
His 18th tackle for loss on the season. So he's in the backfield immediately. No gain for Kai Boyd on that one, so maybe not tackle for loss.
It seems
0.
like the Central Hardin Bruins defensive line is starting to get more penetration. Even in the other half, they were starting to get a little bit more push with that blitz packages going.
Well, you'd think with their size and strength and a little bit better up front that they might wear on this North Hardin squad. That's what we saw in the first matchup is they kind of dominated the second half. They're going to give to Boyd on 3rd and short. He's hitting the backfield twice, and there's a flag coming in as well. I have no idea what that would be, but the 3rd and 3 is stopped for sure. Maybe a loss of a yard there for Boyd.
I would
Let's
assume
check
it's a
on the
holding, but
flag.
we'll see.
It's a holding call. I don't know. Do you take it or do you decline and make it 4th and 4? I think you make it 4th and 4 and make it punt it.
Punt it. They've got the lead. You assume they're going to punt it this far deep.
You have to assume this deep they would.
Yeah, the punting is coming out.
So that will be declined, that penalty.
And this is where the Bruins are going to have to take advantage. They need to take this good field position that hopefully they'll get from this.
The wind has died down just a little. The flags that are sitting here in front of us on the sideline of the Bruins are not standing straight out like they were a minute ago. The tent over the training area was about to blow away earlier. They've got all kinds of weights on it, but it's a little more still right now.
And that ball just floated straight.
Logston barely got it away. Good bounce, but it'll be right at about the 45 is where the Bruins will take over.
I think this is what the Bruins want right now. They really do need to get this running game going. I think they need to try to get a good hard push up the middle.
21-15 Trojans, so it is a one-score game, and the Bruins have great field position here. You feel like in the third quarter the Bruins need to take advantage of having the wind because in the fourth quarter will be the Trojans with the wind and the passing attack. Elmore again in the backfield. He's going to give it on the jet sweep to Brooks. Brooks barely got that one. They're struggling with that jet sweep handoff. About a 5-yard gain. Yeah, about a 5-yard gain there, I think.
They're not able to turn up that corner, but they are getting some yardages out of it. But I hope they don't go back to that reverse. Every time they've called a reverse, it's just been for a loss of yardage.
That would be good advice to not go back to the reverse.
I just don't think they have the speed to counter.
Yeah.
What North is doing when it comes to
So a 5-yard gain there for Brooks. They'll bring up a 2nd down and 5, and they're going to go the other way with the same play. Lots of space, and Brooks slips and falls. He had an easy first down, but slipped and fell.
They've had more than a first.
He might have. He's only going to get about 3 or 4. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 2 now with that gain.
And that's that floppy wet field in the middle now. And get that tight wing formation going again.
Going the other way with it, and Brooks is going to turn it up this time. He's got tons of yards. And, boy, there's Tucker Walters leading the play and just absolutely wearing somebody out. So big carry for Brooks down to about the 27. That's going to be a pickup of about 11-yard gain on the play for Brooks. So that jet sweep 3 times in a row, really effective there. And, again, maybe they're starting to get some push up front. Again, they're still stacking it up pretty good. They're going again, same play, and Brooks again. He's going to have to hang on the ball because he's in a pile there.
He looks like he got maybe 6 or 7 yards.
Yeah, he's down almost the 15, almost the first.
Oh no, he got more than what I thought.
Yeah, he's to the 16. That's about a 9-yard gain for Brooks there. So 4 jet sweeps in a row. How many times are we going to run it before they figure it out here?
Sometimes you run it till they stop it.
2nd down and 1, and again, they are at the 26-yard line. No, they're inside. They're at the 16-yard line. maybe they're going to go
doing
ahead
a
and
measure.
measure. Yeah, so they're to the 16-yard line in the red zone. Tony, I mean, what's you see them continuing to run this jet sweep look?
I mean, I think we go back to the inside on this next down. It would be such short yardage. Or just jet sweep back to the other side. They're getting a really good push up front right now with offensive line, which is what we thought was going to happen in the game. And then he got the first down.
So he did get the first down. It was a 10-yard gain then for Terry Brooks.
It's time
and so
to meet another of our
11 and
wonderful
10 yards
sponsors
on this
with
jet sweep,
HC.
4 plays in a row. We'll see if the coach sticks with it or if he's going to try to go more straight ahead downhill now that they're kind of in this red zone area. Timeout Trojans as they are reeling from this Central Hardin running attack. It was 7:28 to go here. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming is sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunications needs. Physical Therapy Associates, more personal attention for more effective results with locations in Elizabethtown, Hodgenville, Radcliffe, and South Louisville. Online at physicaltherapyky.com. Winding Springs Luxury Living, located in Elizabethtown on Nicholas Street. Now leasing brand new apartments and condos. Also available, Black Branch Self-Storage for all your storage needs. Call 270-766-1155 today to make an appointment or visit WindingSpringsEtown.com and BlackBranchStorage.com. So 1st and 10 from the 16-yard line. Bruins on the march here, starting with great field position and now running the football very effectively, going again to Brooks and again trying to cut it up again and can't. Yes, he absolutely slipped there. It was number 31 slicing through for the defense, Styles Goodman.
Lost a yard on that. No, lost it too.
So went to the well maybe one too many times. He had maybe a little bit of space, but couldn't cut it back on this wet track. So -2, 2nd down and 12 from the 18-yard line. And now the Bruins may have to shift the strategy just a little bit here and not go back to that one right away. Obviously, they've had a lot of success running that jet sweep on this drive and probably won't abandon that, but may see another one. Caden Ferguson now with the football at that fullback. He's almost to the 10, so I think that's going to be about a 7-yard pickup. Bring up a 3rd and manageable, maybe 4 or 5.
And they're opening some holes up right there. They got a good little push.
It's about 3rd down and 5. He got to about the 12-yard line. 6-yard gain, we're going to call it. Ferguson's first carry of the night, very successful. Noah Payton checking in for Easton Link. Noah scored the 63-yard touchdown pass from Spurrier earlier. And again, we do want to mention Zach Spurrier out with an ankle injury and a lot of concern for him. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit as well. Right now, Bruins on the move here. They're going to give to Ferguson again, who turns it up inside. Tony, did he get it?
Awful close. Looks like maybe a yard short.
I think it's going to be 4th down and short here. This is a critical point in the game, inside the 10-yard line. 4th down and 2 on the 4-yard gain there from Ferguson. Whew, big spot right here. What do you do going to the well here? Do you go to that jet sweep again to see if you can pick up the
jet sweep.
I really feel like you'll see some big penetration here if they do that. That may not be the call, but they're going to call timeout, and the Bruins want to talk about it. I don't blame them one bit, as this is a big spot here. 5:27 to go in the 3rd quarter. I know it's a long game, but with this kind of weather, man, when you get opportunities, you really need to take advantage of those. Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, a family-owned business with competitive prices, pickup service, and friendly staff available for your recycling needs. Located in Elizabethtown on 31W, just south of exit 91 on Interstate 65. Call 270-982-7206 to talk to someone about scrapping metal and recycling. E-Town Exterminating is a locally owned, family-run pest control company and has been serving Hardin, Meade, Grayson, and Nelson counties and the surrounding areas of Kentucky since 1976. Whatever your pest control issues are, their team has the knowledge, skill, and training to safely and effectively eliminate the problem. Call 270-737-6900 or go online at mugabug.com. So 4th down and 2. Tony, what are you going to do here?
I would go back to that single wing type of look. Let the quarterback keep it, have those 2 lead runners, and just try to, punch
it is Caden Elmore, who is a great athlete. He's under center here, though. They're going to go with the toss sweep to Mason Thompson. He's got some space.
He's got the space. He may even score on this.
Turns it up. He is right by the pylon.
Wait, let's see.
They have not called it. Looks like a spot it just short right at the goal, but it is a first down, a big
I want
carry.
to say that one official said touchdown at first and then brought his hands right back down, but I thought that was a touchdown.
About an 8-yard gain to the goal line for Mason Thompson. So they go under center. They go to a toss sweep look. What's going on? What's the call?
I think they got a flag on the play.
Wow, I think they called a holding call. They must have called a holding call. They're going to call a holding call on the Bruins. It's going to make it 4th and 11 now. Wow. All the way back to about the 17-yard line. So instead of first and goal from from inches,
I think it was a touchdown. I think they called it back because of the holding.
I see. Well, listen, that is devastating. And you know, we talked about at the outset turnovers and penalties, and there's a penalty that just took the lead back. And so you've got to be sharp in these circumstances. 4th and 11, Bruins going for it deep in their territory, faking the toss sweep, going to throw the ball, and no one even close to there. It's intercepted by, I believe, number 4.
Number 12.
Carter Robinson was wide open in the right corner of the end zone. They went to Brooks, and he overthrew it. Again, it's you're going to have to run the football. I mean, Caden Elmore on a normal night might be able to execute the passing game, but in these circumstances, in this situation, having not really played any this year, that's just too much to ask. So another interception for Elmore. 0 for 2 with 2 picks right now. They're going to give to Kai Boyd, and
He looks like he's got maybe 2 yards.
Big number 65, Trey Alexander, just after the play dove into the back of Adam Hobbs. That is that could have been called late hit. So 2-yard gain for Kai Boyd. Second down and 8 now as the Trojans are going to throw the screen. Wow, almost intercepted, but
and they are
completed to Boykins.
And I don't even think he gained any yardage from that pass.
May have got 2 or 3. I think it was Mason Thompson making the tackle. He did get about 2.
But that was close to pick 6.
Yeah, one of the outside backers went flying through and almost got a hold of that thing. So a 2-yard gain to Boykins from Manny Wimberly. His first pass, he was 7 of 15 for 56 yards in the first half, throwing the football. Somewhat efficient, but not a great first half throwing the ball. A couple drops in these wet conditions. Under a little bit of pressure. He's got a lot of time, though. Hobbs trying to get there. He's going to throw. It is picked this time. Big play by the Bruin defense as he tried to get it on the sideline and could not.
I'm trying to see who that is.
I think Hobbs is down, but
number 32, coach, on the pick.
Who's 32? Figure it. Oh, is that Caden? Caden Ferguson running the football in the last series makes a big pick. He is their leading tackler and makes a big interception. The Bruins will be right back in the red zone. 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. So big play. Looks like Adam Hobbs is going to come off the field. He's hurting a little bit. He's had a couple of spots where they've taken some shots at him there. And so we're going to give the ball straight ahead to Thompson. Thompson's trying to run through the tackle of 23, Mason Howard. He's going to pick up several.
4 or 5 on that.
Yeah, he's going to get about 4, and that'll bring up a 2nd down and 6. So Mason Thompson was very frustrated after that interception on that last play. I have a feeling he's a little motivated right now. You might want to feed him the football. He looks like he's a little fired up about what's going on out there on the field. So Carter Robinson out to the far right side. Overbalanced look to the right. They're going to go back to the jet sweep. Is not there. Number 7, Jawan Williams making a big play in the backfield. Terry Brooks is going to get stopped for a -1
yard.
So the gone back to the well, one too many as the jet sweep not there like it was a little bit ago as there's penetration.
They're rating it now.
As soon as he's coming across the formation, they're going to run to that, and that's when you give it to the other guy on some sort of a counter look. 3rd down and 8. 2 downs Don't know that he had to throw it, but they're going to get it in the flat to Thompson. So good pass from Elmore. He's going to pick up several yards. It's going to be a 4th down and probably about 4 or 5 to go there. A short pickup, maybe 3, maybe 4 yards. We're going to give him 4 yards, so 4-yard completion.
5.
Bring up a 4th down and 5 to go there. It's a short 5. They've got to get to the 9-yard line. They're just inside the 14. So just under 5 yards to go. Receivers wide. Oh. Trying to draw them off sides, and they did, but no flag coming there from the official. And the Bruins will call a timeout. Went to the hard count, the freeze, and appeared to work. No yellow hankies, however. Well, we've seen several calls go each direction that were maybe bad. Kind of that one goes against the Bruins. One earlier in the game went for the Bruins. So
say there was probably about 4 Trojans who jumped off sides.
yeah, there were a couple of them that were well into the neutral zone, and that one probably should have been called. West Point Bank has 5 law offices located in Elizabethtown, Radcliffe, Upton, Glendale, and West Point, or find us online at westpointbank.com. Let us help make life simpler. West Point Bank, hometown banking made simple. So, again, we're at another big spot, 2:15 to go in the third quarter, 21-15, and it's 4th and 5. So here we are the second time inside the 15-yard line for the Bruins in this quarter with a big 4th down. 4th and 2 before, penalty on that one, 4th and 5 now. I don't know. Do you go back to the passing game here? I don't know about running the football.
I think if you go to the pass, you have to be rolling out.
Give him an option to run the football if there's open ground, yeah.
But I think you're going to get a hard blitz right here by.
Oh, here they all come, absolutely. And Elmore is running with it. He's got some space. He can get to it. Oh, I don't know if he got there. I think they hit him right before the marker. I think he got a good spot.
They got a good spot.
Good block out there by Mason Thompson, but several. Wow, big run. It looked like he's sprinting out to throw, but he had it tucked away actually the whole time.
He maybe should have cut it up a little bit earlier, but he got it.
So a big run for Caden Elmore to pick up 5 yards and a 1st down. He was hit right about just past the marker and knocked sideways. Good block out in front by Mason Thompson. So 1st and goal. Ball is at the 9-yard line.
With about 2 minutes left in this quarter.
4 shots at it, and Elmore will run the same play to the right. He's trying to get outside. Maybe should have cut that up earlier like you mentioned before. Maybe a yard. They had some blitzers up inside and one coming from the backside chasing him down. It was Juwan Williams that got there. 2nd down and goal. Ball at the 8-yard line now after a 1-yard gain. I'm kind of stuck behind something here. I'm having to lean to see what's going on.
So you can lean this way.
Well, no, I can see it if I get forward. Can you see with me getting forward like that?
No, I'm good. I can see.
Okay. They got me sitting in a corner this week. Thompson with the football straight ahead. He's got a big gain close, not quite to the goal line.
About 2 yards from the end zone right now.
2 or 3 yards short, so a good 5-yard carry there from Mason Thompson.
I think you go back to that.
I think they spotted it at the 3, so it'll be 3rd down and goal from the 3. So a 5-yard run and 3rd and goal from 3. You got 2 shots here, and goodness gracious, if I wouldn't probably go back to what you just saw right there, something straight downhill to Mason Thompson. And
just pop it in there twice.
They've got Tucker Walters in the game, the defensive lineman, who's been playing some offensive line the last couple of weeks, but they've got him in to be a lead back. And they're now going into that overload, that load formation to the left, toss sweep to Thompson to the left, just short. So Walters went wide. Thompson thought he saw a crease and turned it up, did not follow the block. And he's going to be short. He maybe got a yard. It's 4th and 2 now. 4th and goal from the 2, and wow, how many times are we going to have these kinds of circumstances here? 22 seconds to go here in the quarter. It looks like they got one more play off here, and it'll be a 4th down and goal, maybe from the 1-yard line, in fact. So big down right here. Caden Elmore at quarterback. He's going to go under center. Tucker Walters to the right. They're going to follow him over this right side. They give it to Thompson right behind. Touchdown, Bruins! The Bruins will tie it up at 21 with the extra point to come. 2.6 seconds, and they'll tie this thing up. So, interesting third quarter so far.
I think the Bruins went back to what their identity is, which is just smash mouth football, which is what I think they do best.
So the wind, though, has played a factor with a poor punt from North Hardin. And then good drive.
And then the interception.
Kick is up. Missed wide right. So Jackson Engstrand may have been tipped a little wide right. So, again, it's downwind, but a lot of pressure. And the freshman kicker, Jackson Engstrand, unable to get that one through. So we'll go to the kickoff. I was going to say fourth quarter. We got 2 seconds left in this one.
2 seconds left to the fourth quarter.
Until we get to the fourth quarter. But it is tied 21-21, so a big play to score it. Several big fourth down conversions, or a big fourth down conversion, and then a big fourth down touchdown carry. So the Bruins now have tied this thing up. A little unfortunate they couldn't knock that one through to take the lead for them. But we're even, Steven. It's been.
I was surprised they didn't go for the swinging gate on that one.
You know, the chance to take the
With
lead.
the
Wind, wet ball. It's that is a risky proposition, and the guy who triggers that is not here right now. Zach Spurrier is the guy that triggers that swinging gate, and so I don't think you're going to see that again. So the Bruins will get to kick off with the wind here with 2 seconds to go in the third quarter. The fourth quarter will have the Trojans with it. Oh, my goodness. So you guys, I'm just in shock here. So they tried to kick some sort of a squib kick, but it hits Alex White right in the chest, and Alex takes it back 60 yards for a touchdown. Now, for those of you who don't know, Alex White plays D-line and linebacker for this defense. But, by the way, he was their backup running back last year. That guy has played a lot of running back. He can handle the football, and he can run. And as soon as he got that thing, there was a lot of space. For some reason, when you're kicking to that side, you wouldn't think you'd have a lot of gaps between those guys.
When you're squib kicking it or try to kick it down to the ground, the kickoff team knows where the ball is going. So they should be firing off to that position. In the hopes that somebody drops the ball.
Yeah.
But.
And Logston will kick it. He's short, couldn't get it there. So it'll be 27-21 Trojans. So here we are in an interesting situation, very similar to the last time these two teams played, which is that the special teams play of the Trojans totally has kept them in the ballgame. So last time it was the opening kickoff and several other big plays in the kicking game that made a big difference. Here, the Trojans have scored twice on kickoff returns. So 2 big, long kickoff return touchdowns are the difference in this ballgame, Tony.
Yep. We talked about that before the game even started, that I thought it was going to be the Trojans kicking the ball, not returning the kicks. I thought for sure that they would be squibbing the kicks most of this game, and that was a squib kick that didn't hit the ground, didn't get a bounce.
Yeah, failed squib kick.
And no, really not a hustle to go get to the ball, and it was too late.
So several mistakes. But this thing's going to turn around now, and the Trojans will have the wind as they kick off. So Jabari Rashid more than capable of knocking this thing into the end zone with the wind behind him, especially the heavy wind that we're seeing here. So all advantage to the Trojans. So the Bruins make several big plays, tie the thing up, and then the bottom falls out. Not only do they give up an easy kickoff return touchdown, now the wind has turned, and the game has turned, and the Trojans will have the win for the fourth quarter here. So Rashid comes on to kick off. Again, it'll be Robinson and Brooks back deep to return. If Rashid gets his foot into this one at all, they won't be returning anything. It'll be into the end zone. But I'm sure let's keep an eye on this Trojan coverage team. Last time they did this, or one of the times they did this, they did not hustle down expecting the ball in the end zone.
And the Bruins started on the 45.
It was a big return from Terry Brooks. So we'll see if they come out of here running or if they're jogging, expecting this one to be in the end zone. And they're moving pretty good, but it's going to be fielded, not kicked great. Carter Robinson has the football.
He's got some blocks.
He's got some blocks. He kind of went outside the blocks. He had some space up inside, but not a bad return. It'll get almost to the 30-yard line for Robinson, so the Bruins will take over there, 1st and 10. So the Bruins down 6. The good news for them is that missed extra point from the Trojans gives them a chance with one score. Yeah, one touchdown with an extra point would give them the lead as opposed to just the tie. And again, they're going to have to make an extra point as well, and that seems to be getting more and more dicey for both of these teams. Mason Thompson over the right side. Again, they're getting a lot of movement. This is looking a lot like that first game, isn't it, Tony?
Yeah, where as the game progressed and that the speed on the North Hardin defense is starting to slow down a little bit, but that push from the Bruins offensive line is starting to just slowly grind them down.
Yeah, wearing them down, making them tired. The big bodies for Central Hardin kind of just starting to wear them down. So if they can avoid the mistakes, again, 2nd and 3 right here now. Again, you got to expect the Bruins to have a good opportunity here. Thompson over the right side being led by 64 Tucker Walters. He'll have the first down on about a 4-yard gain. You know, here we are in a big moment for this, and they're going to their senior leader, Mason Thompson.
The sad part is I think they were starting to build that momentum and then have that kick return.
Yeah. And, again, I can't stress enough how big the loss of Zach Spurrier is, because he gives you a second guy that's just like Mason Thompson. Big, physical runner, and runs with a little bit of attitude. Both of them are kind of angry runners. They're looking for guys to hit and run over, and that wears the defense down. 1st and 10 Bruins from about the 41. Thompson trying to get upfield, but he is stacked up there. I see Jawan Williams, number 7 there. Maybe a gain of a yard.
Yep, about 1 yard only on that one. You would think that the North Hardin is just going to load the box up the rest of this game.
They have to. I mean, if there's anybody more than 10 yards from the football, they've lost their minds. Now, again, Carter Robinson is wide right, so you'll have to have a corner out there covering him, and that's number 3, Micah Parms. Everybody else is going to be tight. They're going back to the jet sweep now. Terry Brooks trying to get some yardage up in there, and he does dive ahead for a good about 6 or 7 yard gain.
Yep. Looked like they had him down further back, but he was able to squeak out and get a good little hop there at the end to push the ball forward. So we got 3rd and 3.
I'm going to give them a 6 yard gain on that. They had a 2nd and 9. Now it's 3rd and 3. So.
In a pistol look right now.
Pistol look, 2 wide receivers to each side. Caden Ferguson, boy, stuffed in the backfield. 31, that's Styles Goodman making a big play coming through on the blitz, Tony, and they've backed him up to a 4th down and 5, and you got to think the Bruins got to kick it here, even though it's into the wind. This is where that disadvantage happens.
They cannot give North this good at field position.
4th down and 5. They are going to have to kick it. Gage Bryant, his first attempt again. Their normal punter is, in fact, Zach Spurrier, and he's, I believe, at the hospital, probably getting attention. Snapped it before they were ready there. I guess there's a timeout call by the Trojans.
He had too many men on the field.
Woo!
Some guys were trying to run off there before the kick was happening. That's why we had the quick snap by the Bruins. I think they saw them still running guys off, and they called the timeout before the penalty could be called, which would have given them the first down.
Would have. This is an HCEC-TV student production, a division of Hardin County Schools. Special thanks to our live sports coverage sponsors, Brandenburg Telecom, Physical Therapy Associates, Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, Winding Springs Luxury Living, and Black Branch Self-Storage, West Point Bank, and E-Town Exterminating. Tune in weekly for all local HCEC-TV programs airing on Brandenburg Telecom and Comcast Cable's Channel 2 and Spectrum Channel 184. All HCEC-TV programs on the HCEC-TV YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel today to get your local community sports and events. Just got an update. It was John Hardin 3-0 over Spencer County at the half, but they have just gone to a final, and Spencer County has won 7-5. So John Hardin knocked out of the playoffs. So the only local teams left, these two here. Gage Bryant gets away a really good kick into the wind. It does kind of die on the wet field, but it's going to get down to about the 23-yard line. So well kicked by Gage Bryant there into the wind.
And the Bruins defense has to do something big here. They can't give up time. There's less possessions left in this game.
8:54 to go here in the fourth quarter, and we know with Central Hardin's offense is going to be limited with Zach Spurrier out, especially going into the wind now. They're going to have some time to be able to run the football. So trips formation to the left for the Trojans. Bruins trying to get set, play action. Look, they get it to Boykins on a little quick hitch, and he's over the 30 to the 31.
And I think that was just good recognition right there to Boykins. I think he was uncovered there.
So only Wimberly's third pass of this half, he had an interception and a 2-yard gain. 8-yard gain there for Boykins. Trips right. They're going to give to Boyd. Hobbs getting there, but he may have the first down.
It's pretty close. I think they're going to spot him with the first.
They are going to give him the first down, so the ball will be spotted at about the 33-yard line. First down and 10 for the Trojans. 8:25 to go. Clock is moving.
And they're staying in that trips formation.
Yeah, you've got man-to-man coverage at the top of the screen with Terry Brooks. And then trips down here with 4 defensive backs to the left, as well as an outside backer, or an inside backer who's playing pretty wide.
And
I think they've got to go to Boyd.
That's the mismatch you want right now.
Yeah, they're going to throw the quick hitch here to Boykins again, and just playing a little too far off, and Boykins going to have a good pickup, about 9 yards.
Yeah, 27 was playing too far back off.
That's
of that
Mason
play.
Thompson. They've got to come up and play that a little bit better.
That's the mismatch I'd be looking at. Is you got Boykins right there, the linebacker on him, playing off.
So Boykins catches of 8 and 9 yards here in the last several plays. 2nd down and 1 now. This Trojan squad, they've got 3 wide receivers to the left. They're going to give to Boyd. Oh, had an opportunity in the backfield, and Lamarion Blunt missed him. Boyd still running deep. He's going to score. Bruins trying to run him down. He fumbled. Ball knocked loose. Bruins are on it. Holy cow. What a play. Was that Carter Robinson or was that Caden Elmore that made that punch out? Chasing him down from behind, punched the ball out. And the Bruins jump on it. They'll have the ball 1st and 10 from their 20. Game-saving play. District championship saving play.
Yeah, I don't know why he was holding the ball out that wide there at the end. I think he should have just kept it tucked in. I don't know what was going on with the runner there. He let it hang out there. Just easy to pop out, especially with a wet ball on a wet field.
So Carter Robinson saving the ball game there, punching the ball out. As even if he had tackled him, I think Boyd's momentum was going to take him into the end zone. So the tackle wasn't going to do any good at that point. He hustled to chase him down, and he punched. The Peanut Tillman punch. Peanut Tillman was the defensive back for the Bears who did that punch. Mason Thompson running over defenders there from the 20 out to about the 27. 7-yard gain for Thompson. As we said, Tony, 7:26 and counting, and with this much field to cover in this kind of a drive, this is almost it. I mean, you don't know how many more opportunities you can get with just 7 minutes to go here.
They got to get a good push here.
They're going to have to win it up front. They've got to, and again, they're outnumbered because the Trojans are going to stack the box up. They've got a lot of guys up front there. It's like a 60 front. Thompson makes a great cutback. He's going to pick up the first down and a lot more. Yeah, almost 10 yards on the carry.
At first, that looked like a loss, and he did a good job of settling in his footsteps and cutting back. That's great awareness by the running back.
11-yard gain for Thompson. 1st and 10 Bruins at their own 39. So a big carry by the senior. He's going to come out for a moment and let Caden Ferguson come in. He's been playing all night on defense and offense, so he needs a couple plays to get his breath. I don't know how he made a cut like that on this wet field. Again, the Trojans have 8 in the box right there. They're going to give to Brooks, and he's trying to cut it up to get a few on that jet sweep.
I don't even think he got back to the line of scrimmage on that one.
May have gotten 2. He's to the 41. We're going to give him 2 yards on that.
He fell for 2.
Fell forward. He cut it up. I mean, he saw a gap. He tried to get in there. It was it was strung out pretty wide, so he had nothing outside. So just cut up and get 2 if you can. So I'll bring up a 2nd down and 8. Ball sitting on the 41-yard line. One wide receiver to the right. going the other way. Brooks has space.
Yeah,
he's cutting it up. Oh, man, up past the 50, first down. About an 8-yard gain for Brooks, and he makes one guy miss, and that thing is going all the way.
And he trucked number 4 there at the end of the play, too.
Yeah, number 4 there is who is 4? Oh, that's Elijah Palmer. Palmer's a safety, and Palmer's kind of holding his ribs right now. He's he took the brunt of that Terry Brooks run there. So 1st and 10. Now they're over the 50 to the 48-yard line. They need to continue to get positive plays. Brooks on the jet sweep again, trying to be physical, maybe a yard. Another Trojan slow to get up here. And again, this Bruin squad is starting to wear this North Hardin team down. Still on the ground is Jawan Williams, number 7.
I think we're going to end up having an official timeout.
Yeah, there's going to be a timeout right here. 5:26 to go in the 4th quarter. 27-21 for the Trojans. I want to give a special thanks to our HCEC-TV crew, led by Ron Hartley in the truck, Richard Jenkins, Jarrett Cox, Kyler Barkley, and Allie Barr. Great job tonight on a windy, cold, wet night, getting the job done to bring you the action. So thanks to them. We'd also like to thank NFHS, the National Federation of High School Sports, and its support in providing live streaming service. Contact NFHS.com to subscribe today. So Jawan Williams down on the field. They're working on his leg, maybe cramp. Kind of looks like they're working cramp.
Yeah.
The way they're kind of holding his leg up in the air. It gives the Bruins a chance to come over to the sideline and talk a little bit about what they want to do. Doesn't cost them a timeout to do it either. So 2nd down and 9. You got to think now that they're over the 50-yard line, they may be in 4-down territory. 5:26 to go.
And with a second-string quarterback in,
yeah,
you're not getting a lot of opportunities to take shots out of the field. You got to go for what you got to go for right now.
So they need positive yards on every play. The way they've got this single wing formation set, they're going to throw it right here. Not a lot of open people there, and that ball trying to get it to Adam Hobbs on a deep out route. Ball nowhere near Hobbs. He wanted to go to Mason Goodman out of the backfield, Mason Thompson, but they had
him covered up.
Oh, they had him covered completely. He was nowhere to go.
Hobbs was open.
Hobbs was open. I think when Thompson wasn't open, Elmore panicked a little bit, and he went to Hobbs, but just didn't set his feet and make a throw. Now 3rd down and 9. Wow. 5:18 to go. Maybe you do punt it if you don't pick this up. I don't know. Just get that field position. Brooks on the jet sweep, trying to get space. He gets outside. Oh, stumbles forward. Almost got it. Boy, down to 41. And he'll be about 1.5 yards to 2 short. I think you're going to go for it with that kind of a pickup. Bring up a 4th. Great run by Terry Brooks.
I think he's even closer than that.
Yeah, they've spotted it just short of the 40. So they need 1.5 yards, maybe 2 yards. Probably 2, I'd say, to get this. So a good 7-yard carry. It looked like he was going to get 1 yard or 2, and was able to turn the thing up and kind of lunge forward and dive forward and scramble and get a really big pickup. 2 timeouts for the Bruins, and they look a little bit out of sorts here. Maybe they should have called a timeout here, but they're under center. They're going to run it to the right behind Tucker Walters, who's getting a good block. Thompson straight ahead.
He's got a 1st down.
Ooh, both teams are pointing 1st down their side, but it sure looks like Thompson picked it up. But they did not give him a very favorable spot for the Bruins. Brought it back pretty far from where it looked like Mason Thompson got. And they're going to say it's Trojan ball, that he came up short.
Looks like the chains are coming out right now.
How are they moving the ball all the way over there for the spot? How does that happen? That is awful officiating. So the officiating tonight, the call that went against the against the Trojans, where we clearly fumbled a ball on a toss sweep. Now this spot, where you take the ball from where it actually should have been spotted at the end of the play and go walking across the field with it to put it down. That makes no sense. That's an awful spot there, too. right at about the 39-yard line. And Coach Mattingly, probably as upset as he is, needs to probably stop because he's going to end up getting a personal foul. What do you? Yeah. He is having a big talk with the referee over here. That I've never seen
someone take the ball from the spot and take it over to the side.
Yeah, and walk to the sideline. How do you know what the spot is over there?
Where the line of scrimmage is right now is the first down.
I mean, that's the ball. Where the ball is spotted is about where the marker was. So I don't know what happened there, but that was horrifyingly
you would keep
bad.
the ball there and bring the chains out to that location.
Well, these guys, this crew has kind of blown it, I'd say, on several occasions. First and 10, Trojans, and the Bruins got to have a stop. The Trojans need to run clock and pick up first downs. They're going to throw that quick hitch to Boykins. He had it in his hands for a 10-yard gain and dropped it. They got to find him. He's the second man in, and they're finding the first man and the third man. But that matchup, well, see, now Coach Jackson's telling Thompson, get up on him. So Mason Thompson, who's playing kind of like a safety spot, is going to come up and play more like a linebacker spot.
He's playing about.
He's
playing
backing
about
off
7,
again.
8 yards up.
Now he's 9, 10 yards. Okay, he's coming back up. His coach is like not wanting him there. Kai Boyd with the football, driving ahead. Big push by the line.
Gained about 6 on that play.
Yeah, bring up 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, somewhere in there. So we're going to say 5. So Boyd, again, continuing to have a big night. He's over 100 yards now. 3rd down and 5. The defense has got to have a stop. 3:55 to go. And just one timeout for the Bruins, and this thing is getting away from them right here. Yeah, if you don't see a stop here, this is probably nighty-night for the Bruins. Give to Boyd. He's around the right side. He's got it, too. Easy. Nobody there. He's finally touched after 9 yards, so no one came off the left edge. No one scraped to the play. Good blocking up front and just no pursuit to the football. So over midfield, Trojans have the ball at the Bruin 47-yard line on about a 9-yard gain by Kai Boyd. He only needed 5. He got 9. 3:19 and counting, and this thing is pretty much academic with just one timeout for the Bruins.
The Bruins have to hope for a turnover here.
They're going to have to punch the ball out again, just like they did last time to save the game. Give us to Boyd straight ahead. Boyd barreling forward. He's got about 6 or 7, maybe 5. Second down and 5. 2:42. And they've now I don't know why it stopped. The clock stopped for a second there. It should not have. 2:36 and counting now. And so time is the enemy for the Bruins. And Manny Wimberly intelligently just waiting for the 25-second clock to wind down. He'll snap it right before they get to that spot. Kai Boyd off the left side. He's going to get another first down, it looks like, maybe just short of it.
Got a holding on the play.
Woo.
And that's going to stop the clock as well.
Neither team, Tony, can seem to stand the success that they have.
Well, that may have been why he got that success, was that hold.
Maybe. Well, I'm just talking about the drive in general. They got a really good drive going, and that's kind of a drive stopper there. 2:11, the penalty will stop the clock as well. It'll be now 2nd down and long instead of 2nd and 5. We're looking at probably 2nd and 16 for the Trojans. They're back to their own 47-yard line. Two receivers to each side. A little tighter coverage from the Bruins now as they're getting a little bit more desperate. They're going to bring blitz, too. They're going to bring several guys. Boyd now straight ahead. They're just going to keep handing off to run the clock and avoid any turnover. The Bruins will use their last timeout. 1:38 to go as Wimberly and company doing a great job of milking the clock. So it'll bring up a 3rd down and 15 after a 1-yard gain. And, Tony, I mean,
you assume they'll run the ball.
you'd think they'd have to here, even on 3rd and 15. You don't want to take a chance at a mistake.
Yeah, don't go to a screen pass, don't anything silly. Just run the ball, kill the last of the clock. Force, even if you're punting, you're forcing a backup quarterback to try to sling against the wind.
Yeah,
you're score a touchdown.
Yeah, and with what you've got going on here, you run the football. You're going to run this down inside a minute easily. It'll be down to, it'd be right around 40 seconds before you have to, maybe more like 47, 48 seconds before you have to punt the ball, depending on how long this play actually lasts. So 3rd and 15, we expect to see the ball in Kai Boyd's hands. There it is. He's going to follow Alexander. Makes a big block. There's another flag on the ground. 1:33 now, and the clock is going to stop.
And you take the penalty because it stops the clock.
Well, it'll stop the clock. You don't have to take the penalty. It'll be 4th down right there, so you decline the penalty. Is that right? What's going on here? It makes it 4th down, and they're kicking the football because of the penalty.
Yep.
It would not continue to run. The clock wouldn't. So, yeah, that's what they're going to do. They'll decline the penalty. It'll be 4th down and 13 after a 2-yard gain by Boyd. The punting team will have to come onto the field. What's going on here?
They're going for it.
4th and 13, they're not going for it. They're going to, well,
there's no clock. For some reason, the coach thinks the clock's
the clock's not going to run.
There was a penalty.
It's, Coach Thompson believes that they were supposed to start the clock. They were going to have their offense stay on the field, run down the 25-second clock, and then call a timeout before they punt the football. But, I think that penalty stops the clock. And they never wound it, the officials. The officials are of the same opinion that we are, that this thing is going to wind only on the snap, the 4th down snap. So the Trojans will lose 5 yards back to the 45. They'll bring on the punting unit, and you got to think that this Bruin squad is going after this, as Caden Logston has struggled to get this off several times. Here come the Bruins. Bad snap, but he gets it away. Brooks back to receive it. He's going to fair catch it. Generally, I would say very smart play, but when you're down with 1:28 to go and you've got a little bit of space, I think you've got to try to return that thing. Give yourself a chance to make a big play in the open field there.
You thought they were going to go after. I thought they were going to go mass protect on that and just try to return the ball.
Sure. Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I think they went after it, though, but he had an opportunity there. So they'll take over at about the 20-yard line, almost the 21, just over the 20. Minute 28, no timeouts. Backup quarterback. They've got to throw the football. I mean, there's just no other opportunity here. They're going to be looking for Terry Brooks makes a catch. It looks like he's going to get a 1st down. Great catch. He bobbled it. The clock will stop while they move the chains. It will start again when the official winds it. He is still yet to mark it. The official's holding it. He's moving the ball backwards for some reason. It is just over the 30. He's moving it back up again, so they haven't started yet. The Bruins should have been able to call a play and be ready to run that play. So great catch by Brooks on the slant route. Good throw by Elmore. Elmore's going to look down the field. He's going to throw down the field to Noah Payton again. Payton can't quite get to it. Almost intercepted by Elijah Palmer.
Almost.
Floaters down the middle are not usually a good idea.
In the offensive line right now, sometimes this drives me crazy late in the game. They know it's going to be a pass.
Yeah.
You don't even look at your wristband. Pass protection. Just get to the line of scrimmage.
Well, I guess the only thing you could be looking for, Tony, though, is he in the pocket or is it sprint out protection? So there's probably a couple of, maybe 2, possibly 3 calls that they could have. But In fact, with this trips look here, I would be sprinting into it possibly. And they will sprint into it. They've got to try to get the edge sealed. They do, but pressure up the middle, duck of a throw, but he was under all kinds of pressure. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 10. There's 1:09 on the clock. The 3rd down and 10 part of that is probably a little more problematic right now for the Bruins than even the clock is. If they could continue to get first downs, they can manufacture ways to stop the clock. Looks like Elmore is holding his right shoulder right now. I'm not sure who the 3rd quarterback is. I know who the 2nd one is. It's Caden Elmore here, but I don't know who the 3rd quarterback is. He took a big shot. I believe that was Styles Goodman, 31, who ran him down from his linebacker position. They're bringing heat, so there should be guys open if he can get the ball out. And here comes a late blitz. He's going to throw. It's a duck. It's going to be intercepted, too, and that's the ball game. Intercepted by Jawan Williams, number 7. Caden Elmore trying to go to Adam Hobbs. I like the idea, but he could not get the ball down the field far enough to get it to Hobbs.
It's just a couple knees away now.
Yeah, 1:03 to go. The Trojans have taken the ball back. This game is in the books. It's a couple of snaps from being over with no timeouts on the Bruins side. And the Trojans celebration is underway for this district championship. We'll hang around here with you for just a little bit for the trophy presentations at halftime, at the end of the game at midfield, that is. Snap number 1 from Wimberley, and the clock is now running, and it will run. They'll have to snap it one more time. And the Trojan faithful are going crazy on the other side. So big victory here. They're avenging a loss from the earlier in the season loss, the 26-21 loss. Take a look at the scoreboard, 27-21, about the same number, just in the opposite direction. And you just got to think back to the big plays.
Those 2 special team touchdowns is what cost this game. Even with losing their starting quarterback, the Bruins seemed like they had a chance to stay in the game.
I think with Spurrier, this is a different ball game, but you're right. I mean, they moved the ball, they took it down there, put it in the end zone once. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, maybe done that again several other times, and it just didn't. It just didn't happen. You like to see guys show good sportsmanship. Skylar Coffey, number 10 for the Trojans, doing that. Very disappointed guys there, and several of the Trojans. Damani Taylor also showing really good sportsmanship, consoling the team that came out on the short end of the stick. Obviously, it's a huge rivalry, but it's a huge rivalry, Tony, because these guys have played together, played against each other. Some of them have been teammates in this sport or other sports since they're little kids. So it's good to see guys showing a lot of respect and congratulating the team they played against on a good game. So any final thoughts before we just sit back and watch the trophy presentations?
I think North showed some really strong reliance throughout this game. There was times where it looked like they were going to get behind it and were able to rally. Their special teams, we said at the beginning of the game that their special teams seemed to have an edge over the Bruins, and it showed up tonight.
Well, it really seemed like from the opening kickoff they had a little more energy and a little more life. I think it was, like you mentioned, the fact that they went up-tempo early in the game with the offense. I think the Bruins, in a lot of ways, did control the line of scrimmage. They did not run the ball at all in the first half. The Bruins were very unsuccessful running the football in the first half. Much better in the second half running the football, but just couldn't be consistent enough.
Yeah.
To get the ball in the end zone when they needed to at the end of the ball game there.
And they needed to, when they got that lead, they needed to stay ahead once they got that lead, because with having a second-string quarterback with the conditions, you don't want to be playing catch-up, throwing the ball.
So, yeah, I would like to. They're going to make the trophy presentations. I would like to mention Zach Spurrier. I'm very close with Zach, and I'm just heartbroken for Zach right now. I hope the young man's doing okay. I hope that won't be too serious.
Trophy presentation first to the district runner-up, the Central Hardin Bruins.
So Central Hardin with a good season, 8-4 finish in their 12. See, again, they were 1-5 last year, so big step forward for this Central Hardin squad. Huge victory for the Trojans. It kind of makes their season, as they just were 4-7. This will make them 5-7, and they've really struggled. They had to play a really tough schedule.
I mean, when you have success like they did the previous season, it's hard to get, easy opponents. You're going to play against those top tier teams.
Oh,
and
man. I mean,
really have to, earn.
Yeah, they won 13 and 14 games the last two seasons, or 12 and 13 games in the last two seasons, and just, not. They had to schedule the best teams in the state, and they just weren't up for that challenge. But this for them makes their season kind of coming back and having some success, and keeps their program headed in a positive direction. Now, Tony, for their success, their prize next week is to go play Louisville Male, who's ranked number 1 in the state, with about 15 to 18 D1 prospects, several of whom are going to SEC schools and other places like that. So congratulations to the Trojans, and obviously congratulations to the Bruins on a great season. But this is a huge win for the Trojans tonight. But they'll be traveling to Male High School, and that'll be a tall order. I mean, that's, you hope to compete, you hope to just play hard and play well. I don't know that you can beat a team like Male, regardless of what the circumstances are, whether it was the Bruins who won or the Trojans who won tonight. Your prize for winning the district championship is going and playing a team that's would beat some small D3 colleges. They have numerous D1 players on their team, recruits, some 4 stars and 3 stars on their team, and so tall order for the Trojans next week, but congratulations. They need to celebrate and enjoy this one tonight. A big win for them. Again, it's been a really great season. Really enjoyed calling games with you, Tony, and my good friend Jeff Knoll as well. So for Tony Menendez, this is Paul Gray signing off. Good night, everybody.